gonna be storming tonight. The first band came through, and the it was a very, very dark strip across the sky, and it went right across, and we just had a little rain, and there was very little wind, but the whole sky got black so fast. So this is it, and we're on the bad side of a hurricane. You do not want to be, when a hurricane spins like this, you don't want to be at the 5 o'clock, and that's where we're going to be basically, at 5 o'clock on the clock of a hurricane, because those winds that are, Moose, Cyber, those winds, Paul, what's up, Holly, hello. The winds that are moving the hurricane upwards, in addition to the centrifugal winds, combine on the right side of the hurricane. So you get double whammy winds. So very dangerous, and that's the side we're on. But luckily, it's way moved north, and it seems like the more north Ron DeSantis goes, the more north the hurricane keeps switching. It's like it's coming right for him, wherever he is in the state. So I have a feeling if he goes down south, it's totally going to go down south and chase his ass. It's like an anti-fascism hurricane. I love it. Token Tony Z, what's up, my friend? How are you? Tula, hello. Holly Hornay, hello. How is everybody? Holly, haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, we are on the wrong side, that's for sure. We've got a hell. Good, he's wet. The cat's all wet. Let the cat outside. He's like, yo, stop being wet. That's his job. Okay, getting a dab ready here. Saying hello. We've got Token Tony Z, Holly Hornay, Tula. I don't have my audio on. Let's turn the audio on for the chat. Maybe we could do that. Yeah, let's turn text to speech on there. Great. Let's see if that works. It is dark, you know? It's very dark outside. It's cloudy. And there's no blue sky. It's completely overcast now. So we are in the band right now. It is that first band is here. And if you look on a weather chart, you can literally just see it's right over Orlando. You know, that not the hurricane, but the first band. Which for us, you know, where we are, it's really nothing right now. Wait till tomorrow. It's gonna be crazy.
Nick Brown. Hey, brah.
Hey, Nick.
Patrick John Welder.
PJ Dub, what's up?
What mile winds are you expecting?
45s, basically, sustained at 25 to 30 at the most, probably, because of it was expected to be higher, but the hurricane has changed direction somewhat. So we're gusts of 45, solid 25 mile an hour winds for a little while. I was gonna ask Cyber something. I was gonna ask him. What was I gonna ask Cyber? That's so funny. It completely slipped my mind. Well, I was gonna ask you a question. And I forgot what it was. Mixing dabs together here. There we go. A little bit of both. Loveliness. We got a little bit of both. The best of both worlds here going on is what we're gonna do. I cleaned my Lucite desktop light. Here, let me turn that back on. Here, I'm just gonna turn these lights down so you can see the individual LEDs. I just did a little, you know, reorganizing there, made everything really nice and straight, and I still have to clean my glass.
Those lights I bought, right?
Yes.
They were from a site called Frugal.dk. Very important that's DK in the end, because I thought it was a Danish site.
Yes.
And I thought it was a UK site, because that's Frugal, that's UK.
Huh.
And I think I bought from there before.
Okay.
But the lights haven't arrived yet, so
oh man.
I was looking up my emails and shit. They are fucking shipped from China, and the delivery date would be from 20th of August to 15th of September.
Oh my god, that's not a window. It's a freaking. It's the Grand Canyon.
Exactly, man. And they are gonna arrive exactly the last fucking day. We all know that.
That's right. Okay. Got a retorch. Skeeterby, what's up there? Michael Haskey, right? Skeeterby. Dude, just fill this and fill it and fill it. It never seems to fill up all the way. I never get the, oh shit. I never get the back spray out, which I usually get out of this torch. It's just, I don't know. It's pressed in there. Okay, heating up, getting ready to smoke here.
Jeff Lund.
Going for the flavors.
Cheers.
7.
Hope ya don't get too much rain.
30. Thank you, Jeff. I hope so. I hope we don't get too much. We do want some rain, but you know the winds are going to be a bitch. It's going to make the whole yard look disgusting. It's going to knock shit over, and it's going to bring branches down and pine needles everywhere and leaves all over the yard. It's going to take hours to clean it up. That's going to be sucky. I tried to find the video where I said something about BitBoy Crypto being a crackhead, and I couldn't find the video. I went 4 months back to when him and Tiffany Fong were going after Alex Mashinsky from Celsius. And it was 4 months ago. And dude, I found the Tiffany Fong video where she first said how much she got ripped off on Celsius. Bro, I thought I was bad 100 grand. Dude, she's lost 200 grand to Celsius. Almost $250,000. So I don't feel so bad now. All right. No law regarding cannabis. Cheers, Cyber. Jeff, Patrick, Nick. Hinterak. Skeeter B, Token Tony Z. It's Josh G. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, bro. Cheers, everybody.
I'm getting clogged. Oh, it looks fine. There is a clog in one of the tubes somewhere. I think it's this one. It needs to be cleaned now. Hinterak, where are you at? You're in Lake County? Yeah, you're closer than me. You're definitely going to get more of a surge than me. Whoa, that's the first time I've ever seen that.
Nick Brown. Wonder what Doc is doing.
Two of my YouTube videos got recommended side by side, the same video from two different channels. This one.
Yeah, yeah.
The one from It's called First Band of Idalia Hits Here, and we are covering the hurricane live. That's this video. Two of them. One from Nays Garden and another one from the Buttering channel. Which the Buttering channel... Let's go to my videos on that one. 8 years ago. Huh. There's only one video? Oh, that's Trending 8 Live too. Okay, that's a different... There's only one... Oh. Oldest video first. Streamed 2 years ago. I bought some Tesla. This is when I first got into crypto. Huh. That might
How
be
much did you
interesting.
lose on that Tesla?
I don't know. I only bought one share. It was like when I bought it, it was like $600 or something. I don't know what the share's worth now. I haven't brought it up and looked at it.
I almost want to bet that you have lost on it.
All of it?
No, not all of it, but I don't think you have a profit on it.
Oh, dude, there's no way I got a profit on it. I don't have a
No.
profit on any of the stock.
But you have to remember you would be an idiot if you don't buy a Tesla.
Right.
The equivalent would be like you bought a horse, you know.
That's what
That's why you buy
Elon
it.
said.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so funny. Let me find it. I'll find it. I've got it sitting on
I
here.
still remember when he did that. He's so fucking stupid.
Oh, dude, I can't. They've logged me out of that account, so I can't even fucking see it. Unreal. So yeah, I've been logged out. Let's see. Do I have any Tesla on this one? I don't think the Tesla was here. Where's... If I can remember. Total assets. No. How do you find your assets? Oh, there it is. Traditional IRA. Tesla. Not on this app. It's on my other app. But damn. What the fuck, dude? Okay. Dude, on my stocks, I'm about negative $5,000 overall.
Yeah. That's a lot of money, man.
Yeah, but now it's still worth 12,700.
Oh, okay.
So it's 30% down on my stocks. But those are all the bank stocks that those are going to go up when water starts. Those are water banks. So when the water shortages hit, man, I'm invested in these banks. These are all the companies that are buying up all the water. So I'm invested in all that
I
shit.
see.
Yeah. PayPal is negative 1659 total gain. Oh, a couple of my stocks are in the positive, dude. One of my stocks is
Oh, nice.
$589 profit. Another one is $277. These weren't really big purchases. So, but I need to go to this other exchange, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to bring it up. Let me see if they let me log in. Oh, wait. Oh, shit. They logged me right in. Okay, authenticator. Oh my God, the authenticator worked. I can't believe this is all working. I'm in. Okay, cool. I could tell you exactly what I've lost on Tesla. Okay. Tesla. Today. Yeah, it's up today. Overall, I need to see overall. Total loss.
Mike Pasquarello. Hey brother, how's your day going?
Hey. Hey, bro, it's going good, man.
Hey, Ice.
I'm trying to figure out what... I don't understand how to read this. It's not giving me all the information. Statistics. It's giving me the whole Tesla thing. I just want to see my Tesla.
Mike Pasquarello. Hey
Oh,
Cyber.
where's my... Oh, here we go. Right, where's my... Whatchamacallit? My wallet here. Stocks. Oh, there's no way I hold 3.6 shares of Tesla. What? I'm so confused right now. I can't read any of this. It doesn't make sense to me. There's an arrow right there. Dude, I just want to see how much I'm holding. Why is this... Where's my fucking... Where's my wallet at? Okay, wait. Total money here, $1,634. And I don't know how to do this, man. They've changed it, and I'm looking at it. It says Bitcoin. There's like 0.0004 Bitcoin in this account, and 1 Dogecoin. It's 6 cents. According to this, total return. Oh, there it is. Okay, they've changed it. So I'm negative $59.41.
That's not bad.
No, I'm not.
That's
It's not bad.
not bad.
But my Tesla stock, I only own $256 worth. I didn't buy a lot. I just bought, I guess it's $300 worth of Tesla because fuck Elon Musk. But I just wanted to buy it just in case, and keep my eye on it, get notifications, and if it was something I'd invest in later down the road, I didn't want to be, sitting on the sidelines. But I'm glad I never did anything with that. Was just never interested in it, really. It's crypto's what grabbed me, man. I never look back at stocks. Winds gust 70 to 80. Oh my God. I missed out. Hey, Nay, how far is that hurricane from you? Really far. It's really, really far. Freezing on Rumble. What? Is anybody else seeing freezing on Rumble? It's Michael Haskey. Michael, you might have a bad internet connection, right? You guys will tell me if I got a bad connection, right? Because you're awesome and shit. So, Ice, you heard about Big Jim? Top of the hour, eating. A moment here. I like my little jars. I like my jars. Bro, I saw a fucking series on net. Oh, that's what I was going to tell you, Cyber. I saw a Netflix series I think you'd like, but you've probably already seen it. Cabinet of Curiosities.
No, I've not seen that.
Oh, you're gonna thank me. You're gonna thank me. I just binge watched the whole thing in 2 days.
Nice.
It's like 6 or 7 episodes, bro, and it's every single one of them is fucking funny and awesome and scary and creepy and disgusting and vulgar.
Nugs money.
It's right up your alley.
Hey, Nay, how's it going?
Roger that.
Hey, bro, it's going good. Gonna heat because Ice is here supposedly. I don't know. Stab 30. Dab, top of the hour. Okay, I'm not heating it up as much, so I'm going to go less time here. I'm just going to go with 21 when it's 21. So nobody else is going to tell me on Rumble if you're having problems with my connection. You guys have all, Hinteract, Skeeterby, Token Tony Z, you guys have all stopped talking to me on Rumble. I'm asking you, how is this connection on Rumble, guys? Is it good or not? Let me know, please. Thank you.
Mike Pasquarello. Yeah, I know about Big Jim.
Okay. No law regarding cannabis. Cheers, Cyber. Cheers, Ice. Nugs. Skeeter. Hinteract. Token Tony Z. Lil Ghosty's back. It's Josh G. Cheers, guys. Big dab.
Cheers, bro. Cheers, everybody. I think you are freezing up on Rumble. Cheers.
Mike Pasquarello. Cheers. Nugs Money. Cheers.
Hey, not telling.
Yeah, you are freezing up on Rumble, bro.
How often? Is it bad?
Yeah, it definitely for a few seconds every other minute or something like that, every minute or something.
What was causing that last time?
Now you froze, hold on. 5 seconds. 10 seconds.
What the hell?
15 seconds.
What?
Yeah, around 10-15 seconds to freeze us.
I mean, I believe last time the problem was Discord, and I shut off Discord and restarted it, but I already opened and closed Discord because it was locked up. I'm not dropping any frames. That's the other time I was dropping frames. I'm not. Let me look at my output settings. 2,000. Okay, we'll put it down to 1,500. We'll go 1,400. Okay. Tell me if that fixes the rumble. Ooh, everybody, this is the rumble. Ooh, everybody, oh yeah, it's freezing. Look at that. Son of a... Dude, Rumble's got an issue. Is YouTube clear, guys? Ice,
Yeah, YouTube
Nugs?
is fine.
YouTube's fine? Okay, and Kick. Yo, Lil Ghosty and Josh G, how's Kick? It feels like that part of War Games when they're asking if the nukes have hit yet. What about you, North Carolina? Yeah, we're still here. Yay!
Jeff Lund. Good.
He should just hang it up and be
Nugs
glad
money.
he's... You know, we
YouTube
should take Ron DeSantis and put him on a boat and put him out in the middle of the Gulf so the hurricane will just kill him and stop right there. They can kill each other. We get hit by hurricane today, boy, says Lil Ghosty. Where you at, Lil Ghosty? There's a lot of storms brewing out there, man, going all different kinds of directions. It looks like a washing machine. It looks chaotic and crazy. Usually you get like hurricane after hurricane after hurricane. They all seem to follow the same trail. It's like they clear the path for the next one. But we just got storms everywhere, man. They say that it's hotter now than it's ever been in that Gulf. So we're going to see if that supercharges this hurricane or not. They're saying it's looking like it's going to be a Cat 2 or 3 when it hits Florida. If it goes up to 4, then you know all of the predictions were wrong based on that charged up ocean. But they were showing the Keys, the ocean was being sucked out by the storm. They were showing the water level was going down in the Keys. It was crazy. You guys see that shit? These things get energy. They pull it from everywhere. They pull their energy from the sky, from the ocean, from everything.
Delbert Grady. Sup, Nay.
Hey,
Jeff Lund.
Hey, Delbert. Hey, Jeff.
Hunter Biden's nose could create a negative pressure area and change the course of the storm.
Hunter Biden's nose. Oh, God. I bought some Tesla and we'll get Bitcoin in a few days. Crypto dabs.
It took me 26 minutes to get the show going. And I'll tell you why. We started at 7. And then Rogan came out. And I was like, okay, I'll take him for a hike really quick.
Oh, 720.
I had to reboot my router anyway. Hey, Karen. Hey, Nick. Hey, Richard.
Karen.
Kelly.
You guys remember
Hey,
Karen?
Caliana.
Galliana!
Hey.
Look at that.
I was just thinking about you.
Oh, it's
everything's okay
7:10.
with you.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, Debbie, Richard, Amira, Nick.
I've
Amy
always
Nelson,
participated
Matt
in that
Tito.
chat with
Says
you guys,
was
haven't I?
right.
Always.
Delbert
I
Grady.
try to never ignore you guys.
Rogan mentioned you before. I just can't find the dim clip.
Patrick says, congrats on the Tesla buy.
Delbert
Great buy.
Grady.
Nick
Yeah.
says, Trovo, Amir says,
You're
hey,
blocked.
Hey, Amira. So I'm so sick of watching the fucking crypto explode. I'm like, I'm fucking hopping on, man. Why not? I tell my mom all the time, I was like, Mom, I got all this money, I don't know what to do with it all. Why not throw some of it into the crypto? And if it's doing so
Next
good,
time you do that,
I'll
bro.
put an amount in that if
Try not to do so. No, try not to be so overly hyperbolic with the selection of the podcaster. Like, go with someone believable, like like maybe Ron Placone mentioned you, or Graham, or someone, maybe Rome mentioned me in a tweet or something. Maybe something a little bit, something that's at least believable.
if it disappears, no big deal. Okay,
Just from one troll to another, bro.
For me, no big deal. But if it explodes, why
I'm
not
here to
do
help.
it? And if it explodes, why not do something nice for all of you guys? And that's what I was thinking. So I'm going to tell you what my grand scheme, my grand master plan is, okay? I want to buy a big, giant piece of land.
Oh my God, I remember this.
And I want to let y'all...
Dude, I was wondering just now, what am I going to say? I have no idea what I'm going to say. I was like, oh, I remember this. Yeah, the land for everyone to live on. Yeah, fucking, and survive. People were asking me if they could camp out in my yard and shit. I was like, I'll buy some land and let people do that
out
shit.
and populate it. Not a cult,
Not a cult.
but a place where you can go when you don't have water or electricity
You're
or
not-
food anymore.
Yeah, you're
I
not.
was thinking,
You're not giving me everything you have and subscribing to my
a
narrative.
sustainable community.
Definitely not a
that
cult.
is just completely self-sufficient.
I still think it's a great idea, and I wouldn't mind doing this.
'cause I'm
I
always
wouldn't
sitting
mind
there
doing
going,
this at
I feel
all.
Sorry for my audience because they can't. I know none of them can afford to get out of the holes that most of them are in. I know some of you guys are doing good, but not everybody. And I sit here and I watch my money build up and build up and build up. And yeah, I've thought about sending money to this person or that person.
This was before I
Well,
found
why
crypto
not
and found a way to
create
blow all
something
my money.
And I've been thinking about this for a few weeks actually. I mentioned it, but I didn't tell you guys what it was. But that's what I've been thinking about. And I'm like,
Where can I get
if
rid
I
of
get
all
in
this
on
money
crypto
at?
shit and the Tesla stock, and it explodes, and I become a multimillionaire, I'll take that money, I'll buy that land, and I'll let you guys populate it, so you guys got a place to fucking survive. My audience, my followers, my wonderful, amazing audience members.
All 10 of you
I know, right, Amira?
that are over here on the YouTubes.
Right,
How many are on Rumble?
Keep that quiet.
21? Whoa, that's 31?
You and I still have to talk.
Get out of town.
Well, thank you. People, sometimes people come in here and call me an asshole and say that I don't care about people or that I, whatever. I'm really not. I'm a good guy. I want to help people. And I think this would be a good way.
Is it still freezing?
If that takes off. Now, I was watching the
Yes,
fucking Bitcoin
it
this
is.
morning. It's like over 45,000. I got it on my phone. I got that Robinhood app. It's over there. And I started watching the crypto this morning because I tried to get on a few days ago, and I was like, oh, it's going to take 4 or 5 days for you to transfer the money from your bank. I'm
Not
like,
Visa.
fuck you. I'm like, I don't want to wait 4 or 5 days. I wanted it now. So fuck you. I'm not going to do it. So then I just let it sit. And then today I saw an old show from John Oliver.
All right, it's late. I'm late. Quarter of the hour.
Yeah,
I got to
it was
heat.
Last week tonight, he was covering it. And I'd seen the show before, and I was just not really paying attention. Well, today, I paid attention to every word he fucking
Oh,
said.
shit, this is a great
And
show.
one of the things he said that got me was, he's like, it's blockchain. It's not really hackable. It's on a whole bunch of computers, not just one. And I was like, well, I'd heard that Bitcoin had been hacked once before. But after hearing John Oliver say that it's on all these computers and it's really safe, it's a lot safer than what people think it is, I was like, okay, how much money could I lose and not take a hit? So I came up with a number and I said, that's how much I'm going to drop. So I grabbed it and I started working, and as it turns out, Robinhood won't let you access your money immediately. It takes 4 or 5 days for the bank transfer. But they'll loan you a percentage of what you're putting in to make your first trade. So I was actually able to buy some Tesla this morning. I went for Tesla first, and I said Bitcoin will be next.
Wow.
Because I didn't see the Bitcoin on the list. I had to scroll down a little bit further, and then I found it. I was like, But I saw the Tesla, so I jumped
Cheers,
on that.
Cyber, Jeff, Nugs, Ice.
I don't have any.
Not telling
I don't
Hinteract.
have any cryptocurrency. Don't ask me.
Token
Daniel,
Tony
please
Z.
do not ask me for cryptocurrency.
Lil Ghosty.
Okay.
It's Josh
I have
G.
none.
Dabs for days.
Okay. I'm starting today. Daniel, you would be a complete idiot to find someone like me who started trading today and then to start asking them questions about cryptocurrency. Okay, Daniel, it doesn't say a lot about you, bro. You're not considering the source here, bro. I'm a noob. Okay, Daniel? Don't ask me questions because I don't know what I'm doing. All right, I'll be looking for people who know what they're fucking doing. But I'm not going to be giving you advice.
It's great. It took me from that day to this day to get to the point where now I can predict shit. And now I'm completely familiar with all of the ins and outs of crypto. So if you watch every video in between then and now, you will too.
Because I don't even know what to do myself. You're asking the wrong guy.
Let me get the date. It just says streamed 2 years ago. More here, hold on. Oh, February 15th, 2021. February 15th, 2021.
Hey, man, you might as well be asking me about what the best form of feminine protection is for odor. I don't know, man. I've never had that issue before. You're asking the wrong dude.
Dude, gender terms. I love it.
You're saying dog or dodge? Dodge? Amir, just so we're clear. I wasn't aware of that.
I'm calling it Dogecoin.
Oh, yeah, Daniel, today's my first day, bro. I
Dude.
tell my audience everything. You
This
guys
is
know
so
everything.
funny.
I share everything. I could have done an investment in Bitcoin and not told anybody and just kept it quiet and never even talked about it on the show ever. And that's not keeping it real with my audience, because I've always put Bitcoin and the stock market down. I said you can lose it all. And for those of you that put a lot of money in, and if you lose that money, you're fucked. You shouldn't do that. Someone like me, I could put in a pretty fair amount of money, and even if it's gone tomorrow, poof, oh well, I'm still fine. I'm more than fine. But if that crypto takes off and I'm in, then I'm not crying anymore and watching it go from since I've been monitoring it.
If
for
the
2
freezing's
weeks,
bothering
from
you, you can move to any of my other
33,000
channels, guys,
47,000, dude.
on Rumble. I don't know what's up with Rumble today.
$10,000
I could shut
that
Rumble
I've
off and
already
turn it
made.
on again if you guys want me to try that.
$10,000.
It won't drop you guys.
Can you believe that?
There's
shit?
20 of you watching. It won't drop you. It'll just pause the video and start back up again.
But
Let me know if you want me to do
don't
that.
Get me wrong, guys. I can't afford
On
a-
Rumble,
a
let me know if you want me to restart
so I
your
didn't go
feed.
that high.
It'll take
So, no, I
1
wouldn't have
second.
made that much money.
I'm literally looking
But,
at the button right now on my screen.
Guys, I still would have made a few thousand though. wouldn't
So
it?
just take a second to turn it off and turn it back on again. I'll probably wait like 10 seconds.
What's the word "the" on
Wait for the
screen? Maybe I
software to
missed
say
something.
offline.
Garden.
Takes like 5 or 10
The
seconds.
den. It's locked here. Let me unlock it so I can move it down there. I used to have the garden up higher. I forgot to move the down. Oops. No, not that.
Trendy Nick, Matthew T. Hill,
There we go.
Mr. It
Like
says
the
Mr.
den.
Do 420.
Supposed to say
Those
the
are the
den.
people in the chat. Those are the chat names.
And we'll put it down there. The den. The garden.
Dude, I thought it was morning just
I
now.
like it. It's casual.
I just thought it was morning.
Casual.
Because I just taken a shower.
Cash.
Don't I look fresh and shaven clean? Yeah, I thought it was morning. Hey, happy 420. It's 420. Cyber, it's 420. You packed, bro?
Why
No,
won't
I
you
need to
buy-
buy.
be
Okay,
buying
well, I got a
Bitcoin
red
from
lighter.
Robinhood anymore? See, now here's someone who knows more than I know. I know. Why won't you be buying any more Bitcoin from Robinhood anymore?
So I'd already bought some
Nick
Bitcoin.
Brown.
You're buying a legend.
Trendy
I don't know
Nick.
what that means.
You guys, I had already bought.
Psychoactive plans.
Wow.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Right.
Cheers. I had already
Right.
bought some Bitcoin.
Isn't that crazy? It's 006 for a share right now, but it's going to be $1 in November.
Tony Zenny. Rumble went down.
Rumble
you're
went
talking about
down?
Dogecoin? All right, maybe I'll pick some of that up.
If you guys are on Rumble and
Yeah.
you want me to restart the feed to try to
Um,
fix it, let me know. I can do that.
My
Nobody-
problem is I got a lot of money.
My problem's I got a lot of money. Yeah, those were the days.
And no idea what to do with it.
I was
if can
buying
turn it
so
into
much
more money
shit.
and do something huge, I'll do it. I looked at going nonprofit with the company, and I was seriously going to do it. And I can still act like a
Okay.
nonprofit.
Cool.
and I don't
Cheers,
have to
Cyber. Cheers,
report
everybody.
as
No
a
Larry
nonprofit.
Gunny Cannabis. Tony
Reporting as
Z,
a
Psychoactive
nonprofit
Plants, Nick
is
Brown.
a cunt.
Not telling.
So I'm not going to do it. I
Interact.
found out.
Cheers,
My
bro.
mom
Cheers, everybody.
Lil Ghosty.
has an employee that works for them. She takes care of my father. He's got Alzheimer's. And she has started a nonprofit in Haiti. She's building schools for children.
Tula Tetro.
And
Cheers. Tony Zenny. Cheers,
lives
guys.
a nonprofit here in the United States and sends desks and chairs and clothing and food and everything a school needs. You know, over every few months, they put a big shipment on a boat. You know, on one of those shipping boats, and they fill it up with stuff. And every few months they're able to ship things over to build these schools. And my mom and I were talking. I was like, I want to turn Triage Oil into a nonprofit, and she said, you know, this woman is nonprofit, and it took her years to do it. And she told me what the journey was in order to do it. And she says, you do not want to go there. You just don't want to do it. She says, I know you're trying to do something nice, but she says you can donate your money all you want. She says you can be nonprofit without claiming nonprofit. And she says it's
You
the
can be
taxing
non-profit
and
without
the-
claiming
and the,
non-profit. Just give your money away.
expenses and the tax breaks that you get on things. I forgot what they're called all of a sudden. She said that they look at that with a magnifying glass. They're all over all the time, and she says it is just too much paperwork. It's too much. It's you know, you want to do something nice, and the government makes it virtually impossible. I saw something today, and it reminded me of that. You guys all need to see this because it's fucking horrifying. At the same time, it makes total sense. Let me explain it to you. Some cunt in Nevada is trying to pass legislation that will allow corporations, now stick with me here, to run their own governments. Apart
I don't remember
from
this.
the United States federal government, apart from local governments, they want to run their own governments. They want to make their own laws. They want to have their own schools.
I don't remember this.
They want to make their own communities. They want to provide the education, the transportation, everything. That's what this fucking dumb cunt wants to do. Now, I don't mind the idea of going local. And
There goes the whole crypto market
Mind.
connection for a second.
But
That was
putting it
crazy.
in the hands of corporations that are already
Everything just
manipulating the
reset.
entire
Look, it's
system
still
of the
resetting. There
United
it goes.
States.
Holy shit.
No, thank you. Give it to the people. But it's very, 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 very important that all of you listen to what I'm about to show you. And I know some of you guys tune out, but listen. If you're one of those dumb cunts, okay, if you're one of those fucking pussy, dumb cunt motherfuckers.
God, I remember when I
okay,
used to say that.
leaves my show because I pull up another video and you don't necessarily like the person
Used to
or
piss me
whatever.
off so much.
Don't do it.
Oh, the
Don't
waterfall,
fucking do it this time.
man.
You're gonna fucking regret it.
The
Because you'll hear
waterfall.
about
The
this in a few years,
waterfall.
You heard about it fucking today, and you could have started working against it today. So you've been warned, okay? Now let me pull this video up, and once again, I will give you this fucking disclaimer warning you: don't disconnect from my channel just because you see me pulling up somebody else's fucking show. Don't be one of those little fucking cunts, okay? If I knew who you were, I'd fucking throat punch you right now.
Throat punch you?
You know,
If
we're
you
gonna
leave
get
my
hot,
show,
we're
I
gonna
will
have
throat
a lot of
punch you,
fun,
bro.
but
That's
guys
how
need
you
to
do
fucking
it.
learn this shit.
That's what you tell
You
people.
guys need to hear what's fucking going on.
Oh.
Jeff Lund. Damn throat punch, wow.
They're hiding Jimmy Dore on YouTube. Nice, huh? None of his videos are popping up for me all of a sudden. Looks like they got him, man. Alright, like I told you, don't be a little fucking pussy. And if I find out that you leave this goddamn
find
show
out.
because I'm showing somebody else on here, I will fucking block you.
I will
from the
block
show,
you.
and you can go find
Don't
my
leave.
videos where
I'm
you-
gonna block you. I'll
You
you
want
coming
to
back.
blow up, and you.
That
If you
won't
s-
educate yourselves.
I don't know what
Because, God, every time I would do that, I'd watch the numbers
I don't know if
drop.
This is 1984.
Oh, it was Jimmy Dore back then.
Well, I don't know what this is exactly, but this is what's coming. You're right. So you already know we don't live in a democracy. The Princeton study proved that. Okay, 80 for the bottom 80.
So these are companies that want to have their own governments?
Impact on legislation. There's a new bill in Nevada
Okay,
that would allow
that's-
tech companies to
I get it. That's fucked up. Thanks, Jimmy. Fuck off. Here comes that hurricane. Let's see what else we got. This is all... You guys. It's all, It's all... Oh my God, it's categorized, my video, at the bottom.
Fuck yeah.
Bro, is that all YouTube videos now? Automatic?
I don't know.
Richard Magnarelli, that one's called. It labels like the first thing I say at each segment. That's what we live in. Healthcare. Minimum wage. Captain Crunch. The lobbyist. The betterment guy. Dude, we could find shit in my videos now. Oh my God. I can't wait for 2021. Best of both worlds. Stupid. Skynet. Terminator. Here we go. 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 This is 2 years ago. Before I knew anything about freaking ChatGPT. What's this all about?
United States, Nevada, people flock from around the country to get
Oh, and
nice blue-collar jobs in Reno and Las Vegas. And
do you guys know how I just figured out the name Skynet?
Skynet.
I looked at the two corporations that are my internet service providers, Viasat and Sky Mobile, and I thought to myself, Skynet. I knew it had a net, and it was something net, because it's a net like that traps you, and it's from the sky, like it watches you. Skynet. You know, it's the perfect name for an evil corporation. What's up, Adam? Do I smoke? No, DD, I don't smoke a useless plant. No, I smoke cannabis, bro. I smoke a lot of it. In fact, we're about to smoke some right now. I'm about to dab this right now.
Cheers to the flat earthers, says Buck51234. What's up, my brother? How are you?
And it tastes like
Yes,
grapefruit.
cheers to the
It's
flat
good.
earthers, because,
Tasty.
you know, flat earthers, that's what helps make the world go round.
Had it delivered to my door yesterday on yesterday's show. You might want to watch yesterday's show. It's fucking hilarious. I thought
Bottom of the hour.
was gonna come deliver it to me, and it turned out it was a dude.
Okay.
Wow,
Ugh.
Funny show. Go back and watch that yesterday's. I'm gonna do a dab right now,
I thought I was going to talk about
and what I'm telling
Skynet.
you is
Skynet.
Skynet.
Okay, here we go. See,
They predicted this shit. When
I don't consume as much sugar today as I did back then, and I can think much more clearly when I'm trying to remember stuff when I'm talking. And I can remember when going back like this and remembering, just totally forgetting what I was talking about.
what year? Okay, Google.
Okay.
Terminator
Okay.
release. How fucked up is that? It came out in 1984. How fucked up is that? Terminator came out.
Is it?
Oh, dude, that just fucks with you, doesn't it?
1984,
They
dude.
not only did they predict it, but they predicted it like George Orwell did, and they just
Cool.
tweaked it a little bit.
Cool. So I'm saying right here in this video 2 years ago that Terminator.
That George Orwell.
The
predicted
word
we would
android,
all be
that is
enslaved
way back from the 1800s from a book, a sci-fi book. So that's even older, the word android.
You know,
Yeah.
corporate America. They released Terminator in 1980. The things you learn when you watch Trendy Ads Down. And you know what, guys?
The things you forget.
When y'all go out and you're talking to people today, I want you to take some of this stuff with you, man. You're having conversations with people, bring that up. Say, hey, man, I was watching Nate's Garden, and he mentioned today that the movie Terminator, which
This was
depicts a
2 years ago,
corporation
this video.
which has completely destroyed mankind.
When I started in
A
crypto.
computer-based, internet-based
This was
company
February
robotics.
2 years ago.
It was released
So more than 2
on the
years
day
ago,
of
I'm pretty sure.
1984, and now Jimmy Dore is literally having a conversation with Max Blumenthal on Dave's Garden show today, which is February 15th, if I'm correct. February 15th, remember this date, guys, the morning show on February 15th. This was the day that we talked about Skynet
Oh my god.
and
Oh my god.
Terminator, and
Dude.
Jimmy Dore and Max Blumenthal were just kind of kitty-bapping it around a little bit, and I was like, man, this is way more serious than they can portray it.
Oh shit.
you know,
Way more
this
serious.
Democratic
Dude, I predicted all this shit, bro, 2 years ago. Cheers, Cyber.
Cheers, bro.
Cheers,
everybody.
Jeff, Tony, Tula, Psychoactive, Buck, Not, Hin, Lil, It's, Tropic. Cheers. No longer going to use. I look 10 years younger because I shaved off the beard. Right on.
The governor is proposing.
Remember the
what would be
date
the
I
wet
said.
dream of Ludwig von Mises and like the Austrian economics.
That's before I had nice coffee mugs.
Yeah, the Austrian economics school wouldn't support this because it's kind of like
The coffee
government
mugs
guiding
changed my life.
These government-free.
I should have coffee right now.
But the
I'll be right back.
stupidity of it is
You
that
guys
it-
enjoy this
It's a little smell.
this video.
have to be created in the
Take that
desert.
trip.
It's like something
Pleasant.
like
I wouldn't pay money for it.
Take a trip down memory lane. I'll be right back with my coffee.
Bundy family and take
Cheers,
over.
guys. Been in there for 12 hours.
Where's the water going to come from? Where will the natural gas for heating come from? Or maybe they'll have to ship in propane. But where will the public resources come from? It's going to come from those blue collar folk working real jobs in Las Vegas and the main cities of Nevada. Their tax dollars are basically going to pay for these towns to exist just to bring in what apparently is the future economy of this dystopian country, which is big tech, is ridiculous. So I don't even see how that's economically viable at all. It sounds completely non-productive. And they're going to be able to run their own school systems. I mean, that completely erodes the state's public school system, which it's like a backdoor for the privatization of public schools. It's a total Trojan horse. And it's this absolute abandonment of the social contract by a Democratic governor.
Again, the Democratic Party. It's a one-party rule, folks. We have one party.
Well, Democrats are
Vortex,
more in line with big tech.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I read the story. I kind of laughed about it, and this is the first time I'm coming back to it, so I haven't really done any research on this governor's relation.
Hey, DD from Twitch. If you want to talk about cannabis, you got to call it cannabis on here. If you call it any other word but cannabis, I'll either ignore you or I'll block you from my live stream. You have to respect cannabis on here like we do. If you want to be a guest on this live stream and you want to take part in it, your words will be blocked when you do that shit. So once again, I will let you know, please call it cannabis on my live stream. And if you have a question about it, refer to it only as cannabis. And don't use a word like weed, because the word weed literally has the meaning a useless plant. And I can prove to you that cannabis is not useless. So if you want to call cannabis weed, you're a liar. You're lying about the fact that it has uses. All right?
I forget what his name is, like Sislak or something. What his relationship is with tech, but I mean, you can see big tech.
Big Poe. I mean, it's a good question, and I will entertain it. But come on, man. Who do you think you're talking to here, bro? Big Poe, who do you think I am, man? I am the fucking king of dystopian movies. And I am the king of watching the folly of man destroy ourselves. Our own ignorance. I'm the king of it. Tune in more often, Big Poe. Man, Idiocracy is probably the best movie. It's probably the best movie. If you watch it with more of an observationary attitude instead of watching it for the pure comedy because it's fucking hilarious. If you watch it for the info, you're link-minded. You're like-minded. You've come to the right place. Idiocracy explains why Donald Trump became president of the United States. We're already in idiocracy. People are thinking that's where we're headed. Oh no, we've been in it for well more than 4 years. You know, what year did Idiocracy come out? Hey Google. what year was the movie Idiocracy released? Oh my God, 2006. I thought it was early 90s. Damn. 2006. It came out late. But hey, man, I'm talking. You know, it was when about the time. You know, it was about, for me, you know, it was about the time, the end of the George Bush presidency, the beginning of Barack Obama's, that I really started noticing how ignorant people could be. And that I couldn't believe that we were going back into this racist mentality. That I thought the 60s and the civil rights movement had ended, and I thought we're all working towards getting out of that shit. And, of course, I lived in an extremely racist area. And all of my friends exhibited racist behavior.
There's 3 deer behind me right now.
So I thought I just lived in a really bad area. You know, and I figured there was a lot of other cities in the United States that were growing.
They've already walked by.
Instead of reverting.
They're right there.
And it was during that Barack Obama 8 years presidency that I realized, I was like,
right in the middle of the yard.
We have
It's cool. You guys have seen them.
reached the height of humanity, and now we're declining. I'm part of the fucking decline. I'm fucking part of the decline of humanity, man. You know, and I'm not talking our extinction. I'm talking about mentally. We're getting dumber. And the movie Idiocracy, it's perfect. It explains it perfectly.
Big D's BBQ.
The fucking movie, and
Hey Nate, what's up,
Yo,
bro?
Big
I've shown you guys
D's. What's up? Gotta remember to fix the freezer out in the garage. It's got some ice.
Killer GB420. You in the path, Nick?
Yo, what's up? What does that mean?
Big D's BBQ. That mug is badass, man. Killer GB420.
Yeah, thank you.
Of the storm.
Oh, in the path. Oh, my bad. No. We're way south of where that thing is. We're gonna get the bands of it. We're gonna get like freaking massive rain and wind. It's gonna be really bad. It's gonna be super windy, bro, and there's gonna be a whole bunch of garbage all over my yard, and there's gonna be a whole bunch of water coming down the creek. I had a dream about an alligator, man.
Killer GB420. Gotcha.
In that fucking creek. I had a dream about an alligator in that creek. So we're gonna have a flood. We could totally have an alligator in the fucking creek. You know? It'd be fucking crazy. I had a crazy fucking dream. I just realized it. I hadn't even thought of it till this very moment. I just remember seeing this alligator. It's from watching this Cabinet of Curiosities. It's fucking awesome, dude. You're into morbid shit. Super morbid. Fucked up.
Yeah,
Killer GB420. Sounds like time for a new pair of boots. Steven running. Watching Weather Channel now.
New pair of boots. Watching the Weather Channel. Steve running. These 3 deer are still here, man. I might as well make it so you guys can see them back there because they're still hanging out.
Big D's BBQ. Is the humidity still bad in FL? I lived there back in the late
Yes,
90s. It
it's
was muggy.
the worst it's ever fucking been, dude. I couldn't believe how humid. Dude, it comes right through the walls. The humidity comes right through the walls. It's absolutely mortifying. Let's see if we can see these dudes, man. There's 3 of them, and they should be like right here. And the possibility is they might. You should be able to see them like right there. It's just there's this glare hitting the window. Okay, I see what it is. There, that should cut down on that glare. Right?
Big D's BBQ. Can you open
there.
the window?
You guys. It's right there. That's genius what you just said. Can you open the window? Yes, I can. Why didn't I think of that? Because you're way smarter than me. Big D's, you're way smarter than me. Boom. Deer. Big D's, everybody. Smarter than me. Smarter than the average bear. Just open the window.
Big D's BBQ. Oh, cool deer.
Nothing like coffee and watching wildlife just graze across your backyard. And you're chilling at night, bro. We had
Nick Brown.
a couple with their...
We have Big DS barbecue here in GA.
Big D's barbecue, where are you at? Are you in Georgia? In Georgia?
Big D's BBQ. Southern California.
BitBoy Crypto fired for fucking mething out. Whoa. When Elon Musk fought Jack Smith's search warrant for Donald Trump, did you guys know about that?
No. Say again?
Elon Musk fought Jack Smith's search warrant for Donald Trump.
No.
Okay, we might have to watch this.
Twitter 2 days after the January 6th riot. His account was
Tropical
subsequently
thing.
reinstated after
Hello,
Elon Musk
Nate,
bought
hope you're
Twitter.
doing well.
Trump
Hey,
hasn't
Tropical
paid since,
thing, what's
preferring
up?
instead his Truth Social account. On January 17th, 2022, federal prosecutors working for special counsel Jack Smith applied for and received a search warrant directing Twitter to produce data and records relating to the @RealDonaldTrump account. The warrant sought a ton of information from Twitter as part of the special counsel's investigation into January 6th. The warrant was served along with a non-disclosure order, which prohibited Twitter from notifying anyone about the existence or contents of the warrant for 180 days.
Dear.
Prosecutors shared fears with the court that if Trump knew about the warrant, that he would jeopardize the investigation by giving him an opportunity to destroy evidence, change patterns of behavior, or notify Confederates. Twitter didn't take it so great. Twitter challenged the non-disclosure order, saying Twitter had a First Amendment right to tell Trump about the warrant because some of the records may contain materials protected under executive privilege. And then they refused to turn over the records until the issue of the non-disclosure order was resolved. Well, they lost and had to pay $350,000 in fines for contempt of court for the trouble. To understand how all this came about, we have to start with the Stored Communications Act, because the warrant to Twitter was issued under the auspices of that act. The Fourth Amendment preserves the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures by the government. A governmental seizure of personal communications generally requires the issuance of a warrant based on probable cause due to an individual's constitutionally protected reasonable expectation of privacy. Sending emails or privately messaging someone through social media platform, however, requires the user to give information to a company that transfers, processes, and holds the user's information. The principle known as the third-party doctrine generally holds that the Fourth Amendment does not protect private information shared with third parties. So you can see the issue. If I'm using a social media platform to send messages, then maybe those messages aren't protected by the Fourth Amendment. Maybe law enforcement can get them with a simple subpoena to that provider rather than a search warrant.
You've been served. Have a nice day.
I don't like you.
The Stored Communications Act was passed in 1986 as Title II of the Electronic Communications Privacy Act. The purpose of the Stored Communications Act was to strengthen the privacy of internet users by adding a layer of statutory protections over the Fourth Amendment. It's also frankly poorly written and incredibly outdated. To put that in perspective, 1986 to 2023 is as far as 2023 to 2060. Sorry for ruining your day, millennials, but I'm one of you. The Stored Communications Act is codified in 18 U.S.C. sections 2701 through 2713. Now, we are not going to do a deep dive into the entirety of the Stored Communications Act, but a couple sections are important to understand. Section 2702 prohibits certain internet service providers from knowingly divulging customer communications and records to any person or entity. Under certain circumstances, if a service provider improperly divulges customer communications
Watch
or records,
for
that
747
customer
on
can sue the
Ethereum,
service
guys.
for compensatory and punitive damages. Section 2703 identifies how state and federal governmental entities can compel providers to disclose electronic communications and records. Now, this can get pretty complicated, but a search warrant is the gold standard that compels providers to disclose stored data in virtually every case. And the section goes on to explicitly say that no provider can be sued for complying with a facially valid search warrant. Finally, Section 2705 provides the mechanism for a non-disclosure order. A governmental entity can apply for and obtain a judicial order commanding a provider to whom a warrant is directed for such period as the court deems appropriate not to notify any other person of the existence of the warrant. The court shall enter such an order if it determines that there is reason to believe that notification of the existence of the warrant will result in any of 5 enumerated harms. Those enumerated harms broadly cover endangering the life or physical safety of an individual,
destroying
flight from
evidence,
prosecution, destruction of or tampering with evidence,
Yep.
intimidation of potential witnesses, or 5, otherwise seriously jeopardizing an investigation or unduly delaying a trial. Investigations that use non-disclosure orders are sometimes called covert investigations.
For your information, the Supreme Court has roundly rejected prior restraint.
And yes, a non-disclosure order is a prior restraint of speech.
That's
potentially a
hilarious
violation of the
that
First
he used
Amendment.
that.
For reasons we don't really need to go into,
Oh my
it's
God.
not entirely clear whether a non-disclosure order should be analyzed under strict or intermediate scrutiny, but even assuming strict scrutiny applies, these kinds of non-disclosure orders are generally constitutionally sound. So let's take a step back. Search warrants under the Stored Communication Act happen all the time. From both state and federal law enforcement agencies, I do them frequently. I don't just mean Twitter warrants, I mean warrants for social media and other companies that store vast amounts of digital information. Warrants to Google for emails and location information.
I've seen
warrants
enough of
to
this.
Meta for Facebook direct messages.
What's
These
this?
giant-
Shapiro rips into Trump and Tucker Carlson. That kind of interests me. Whoa, the deer's running around back there. Why you running around? Don't be getting chased by wasps, little deer. Yeah, cheer. Shapiro rips into Donald Trump. I wonder what that's over, man. I'm so curious about that. I'm curious.
Here was Don Jr. complaining about last night.
Right now, trying to ban people from actually having discourse about politics.
These guys are actually crying that they weren't allowed to do interviews after the debate when they didn't Show up for the debate? How stupid can you be? If a candidate doesn't show up to the debate, you don't get to put your person in the spin.
Oh. Oh, okay, cool. I got it. That's all that was about. Got it. We're good. We're good, you. We're very good. We're zoomed in. We're way zoomed in here. I stretched it way out so you could see the deer in the yard. I wanted you. Everyone talks like that in that series, the Cabinet of Curiosities. They all talk like they're from Boston. What are you doing in the yard there? Look, you got deer. You got some deer in the yard out there. Look at them. They're gonna go park it somewhere else out there is what they need to go do. Cause they's out there's in the yard. When does the hurricane hit? Tomorrow. I'll bring up the track on it. It's it should be easy to find the title, right? Here it is. What's Idalia tracking? I want the tracking. Lash Florida coast. For landfall. That's from Fox News. That's fun. We can watch that. This one says interactive coverage.
Tropical thing. May the cannabis gods protect Naemote 539657 Nays Garden. That's the PO.
And while your specific needs
Here
may
we go.
vary
We got
depending
this.
on your medical condition, be sure to bring a week's supply of your regular medications and medical supplies in their original containers with clearly labeled instructions. Any over-the-counter medications you take regularly, a backup list of medications and instructions.
Dude.
A cooler bag.
Look
for
at
any
the whole
medications
state
that
of
you may need to
Florida.
keep cold with you at your cot. If you rely on medical equipment such as glucose monitors, oxygen concentrators, or nebulizers,
Bro,
bring
we're
them
about
with
to
you.
get
Oxygen will be
hit
available
with
for
that
you
red
on
band
site.
right now. It's about to
More
hit us.
information can be found at hernando.flhealth.gov, or social media can be found at Healthy Hernando.
Thank you, Director Taylor. I appreciate that. Again, our major concerns is the wind and the storm surge. That is a significant threat to the communities of Arapaika, Hernando Beach, Pine Island. To speak a little
Nays
bit more about
Hurricane
that,
Center.
I turn it over to Commissioner Brian Hawkins.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, Brian Hawkins, County Commissioner, District 2. The majority of the mandatory evacuations are in that zone. If you're in low-lying areas in zones A, B, and C, which is west of US 19, there's a mandatory evacuation in effect. Right now, you are able to come back and forth freely as long as you show identification. One of the things that are going to happen is the weather starts to change this afternoon and this evening. That will change. When it becomes unsafe for us to navigate or send out emergency vehicles, if you have not evacuated at time, you will be on your own. So it's important to heed the warnings and get out as soon as you can. I was able to visit a couple sandbag location sites today, one at Linda Pedersen Park and the other one at Anderson Snow. I believe that they're open until 4 p.m. this afternoon or until they run out of supplies. They had a good, healthy supply of sand still available. A lot of people out there utilizing that. So everybody stay safe, heed the warnings, and if you have not evacuated, please make a plan and get out of there. This is 6 to 9 foot potential storm surge. That's going past Shoreline Boulevard, even into the preserve or further. So that's a lot of water that we're looking to potentially have out there at Hernando Beach. Everybody stay safe. God bless.
Thank you, Commissioner. Again, there's a number of different resources that we have. Behind me, we have our emergency support functions. We have 20 of those. They all work collaboratively together to make this disaster emergency protective measures before, during. Our efforts are already in place. Some plans are in place. But I'd like to turn
There's a
over to
camera
our
right up
chairman
there.
of
It
the
says
board,
live
John
Orlando,
Lockwood.
Florida, guys. That's very close to where I am.
Thank you. John Alocco, JOHNALLOCCO. I'm going to reiterate what you've already heard. Evacuate, okay? The storm surge is serious. Don't take this lightly. Even if you live in a stilt home, understand that there will be things that float in that storm surge. that could very likely topple your home. Life is irreplaceable. Okay, you can replace things, and we have a fantastic first responders here in Hernando County and all along our coastline. Those first responders have families too, and they would like to be able to come home to their families. So please don't take unnecessary risks. This is all about saving lives right now. As soon as you're able to, if you live west of US 19, please
forgot
evacuate.
I left this little solar
please
thing
take
out
the
there.
important things that you need.
I'll be right back.
Your supplies, your driver's license, anything that's important for identification and your medications. But understand it's not worth putting lives at risk, not your lives or the lives of our first responders. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Appreciate it. So again, to emphasize, we are looking at 6 to 9 feet of storm surge above ground level. That is catastrophic. That is life-threatening. Please heed these warnings. We have shelters open now. 4 shelters, they're open. We have mandatory evacuations in place. Once again, I need to reiterate, emergency response will stop once tropical storm force winds start coming into Hernando County. When is that? I don't really know. It's late evening according to National Weather Service. So it depends a lot on the forward motion of the storm, how it grows, the intensity, the forward impact. So a lot of it is unknown. So please, if you have to evacuate, do so now. You still have some time to do that. If you need transportation to a shelter, we can make that arrangements. Our Citizens Information Line is open. Please call 352-754-4083 for storm-related questions. If you need information on where the shelters are located, sandbag locations, how long the shelters are open, if you need transportation to that shelter, we can make those arrangements. But please call now. Please do not call 911 for storm-related questions. 911 must be kept open for emergency service calls only. So we have our Citizens Information Lines open. Operators are standing by, waiting to answer your questions. Again, we're talking about tropical storm force wind, hurricane force winds, 30 to 40 miles per hour, gusts up to 80 miles per hour. That's going to be sustained pretty much all night into late, maybe tomorrow afternoon. So this is a long duration event once it does hit. Again, there's still a possibility of storm surge once the eye of the storm does make landfall.
It appears that our feed just went out there. Let's use this moment here to bring you another update in the meantime as we give you a live look overhead at our studio here in Arizona. We apologize for that issue that just came up there. We've also been getting other updates throughout the day today that also includes from places like Tampa. Let's bring you this update here. Pretty quick one out of Tampa. Just
wow, from the newsroom, Nay reporting in. I'm blended right in.
That means that stormwater is not going to have anywhere to go.
Nay's Hurricane Center live.
So it's going to stay where it is at. We were advised yesterday on our 5:30 call that there
I'll bring
could
up
be
like
as
a
much
full
as
screen
4
tracker on
feet
one of my
of
screens.
water
It'll be
on
hilarious.
Bayshore Boulevard for in excess of hours. So those are the things that we all need to be cognizant of. Stated again, it's been a century since we've taken a direct hit, and we all become a bit complacent in that. So this is the time to heed these warnings and make sure you're out of the way of that storm surge.
And this may be a question for Chief Burkall, but last year during Ian, we saw people on Bayshore, the water was sucked out and all. Is there any plans in place to maybe have law enforcement there keeping people safe? Or is it at your own risk, go out and, see what's happening?
Right. We try to discourage everyone from going out there if the water is pulled from the bay. And there's a high likelihood that is going to happen again with this storm, is that the water will be pulled out before it comes back in with a great deal of force. So please, please, please don't go down on Bayshore if the water is pulled out to take photos. You put yourself and others at risk, and especially think about the police officers that are out there working hard and all of the issues that they have to address right now. They shouldn't have to address individuals walking out on the empty bay.
What is, and this might be a question
Yeah, it's still 45 miles an hour.
50.
50. 50 sustained winds, we won't go out. But also, again, none of our, we would ask that our residents don't factor that into any decisions that they make, because the officers are going to be busy with a number of different tasks, and they don't know how long it would take to get to someone.
There's not like a full screen. I'm looking for like a, oh, here we go, I found it.
Or even if they could. And we have all seen those news stories where individuals and families lost their lives because they waited too long and were killed by the surge, water surges. It will right now. Again, things change. We were in the crosshairs of both Charlie and Ian, and they made a last-minute turn. So all of the forecasters are very confident in the path that this storm is taking now, and they have factored in the higher temperatures in the Gulf. So all of that has been factored into this storm, and they're confident on that trajectory, but history tells us that it's up to Mother Nature where that storm's going to go.
I've been through some stores and I've seen people with 8 to 10 cases of water for one person.
Right.
I mean, it's hard not to.
Right.
Dude, the storm's almost as big as the state of
Yes.
Florida.
I don't know people's individual situations, but it's supported.
God damn.
What are your thoughts?
Well, that's an issue as well. Is
They're saying it is going to be Category 3 when it
so
hits.
Just be cognizant of that.
They're still saying it's going to be a Category 3.
The beauty of our city, the strength, the success of our city is based on our community coming together to address issues, to share in our success. So I would just encourage everyone not only to make sure that you have the supplies on hand that you need, but that you're also looking out for your neighbors. If there's anyone elderly in your neighborhood or just your neighbors, making sure they have what they need is critically important as well.
All right, listening in here to this update out of Tampa as we continue to follow the very latest surrounding Hurricane Idalia. And that message has been so clear every time we've heard from officials to take these warnings very seriously, to prepare, to help your neighbors, and to be ready for the potential impacts that come with a hurricane as strong as this one right now at a Category 2, and that is expected to strengthen as it advances to Florida. Let's step away for our first break of this hour. Still much more to come. That includes a live report coming up in just a little bit here out of St. Petersburg, Florida. Also speaking with more experts throughout our programming this evening. Stick with us. We're going to continue to take you through every detail you need to know as we continue to track Hurricane Idalia. We'll be right back.
You're welcome. Wow, we got it right here on screen, guys, and it's freaking crazy, man. Look at all this activity. There's activity out here. And this one right here, and we got this one. What else, man? Is that it? What's going on over here? Oh. Look at this. We got shit going on over here, over here. We got shit everywhere. Look at this. It's everywhere. Man. Dude.
Draw tropical thing. Emote 5395997 Nays Garden Alex Jones. Restream.io.
From where I am.
Congratulations. You've received 100 messages today with Restream chat.
It looks like that shit's right over me right now. And there's no rain out here, which is really weird. But that green, it's supposed to be raining right here, right now. And then we've got a break before the next band comes. But this band right here, this should be raining outside.
Tuesday here as we continue to bring you the very latest surrounding Hurricane Idalia, giving you live looks, live reports from around the country, but especially as we continue to track Idalia in Florida, speaking with reporters who are throughout different areas as they expect to see a lot of impacts, especially into the overnight hours. You can see here as we filter through some of these live images of what conditions look like throughout certain parts of Florida right now. We have a live report coming up at 8:30 Eastern out of St. Petersburg, Florida. So we'll be getting an update there on how conditions are looking, especially as we progress into the evening here. In the meantime, though, we have been bringing you the latest, talking with meteorologists, talking with former FEMA officers, really just speaking with everybody about how critical preparation is, especially as we head into the overnight hours. Fox's Rebecca Castor is also in Florida, bringing us the latest on conditions. Here's this report.
Dude, they're even getting heavy weather in New Orleans.
With just hours until Hurricane Idalia makes landfall, people on Florida's Gulf Coast filled sandbags, boarded up windows, and headed out of town.
This one is far serious than we've had in a century. And so it's really important we leave.
Winds picked up and dark clouds began rolling in on Tuesday afternoon. Police in Cedar Key went door to door, urging folks to follow mandatory evacuation orders. Some, though, are choosing to ride out this storm at home.
They're doing the 1950 hurricane, which is coming just like this one's doing, went up to the mouth of Swanee River.
Forecasters expect Idalia to make landfall as a Category 3 storm. Storm surge as high as 15 feet could make roads and bridges impassable. Thousands of high-water vehicles are ready to conduct rescue missions. But Florida officials warn some crews may not deploy until conditions improve later on Wednesday.
We're going to be operating in areas that are without power. These are going to be very, very delicate tactical operations.
As Idalia moves north, it's expected to drop several inches of rain on the Carolinas and Georgia. Officials there say it's a situation they prepare for all year.
It's a perpetual state of readiness of making sure that we're able to be nimble and quick and that we're able to respond quickly, but more importantly, that our residents are prepared.
Meanwhile, emergency officials say thousands of utility workers are on standby to help restore power. In Bel Air, Florida, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
All right, and you're taking a look here at a tweet that just came down from Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. It says here Idalia has strengthened to a Category 2 hurricane and is forecast to make landfall as a major hurricane. And again, here is that critical message that we continuously keep hearing. If you're under an evacuation order, now is the time to leave. You still have a couple of hours to pack up and get on the road before conditions deteriorate. But by late tonight, you'll need to hunker down and stay in place. The tweet goes on to say this and then says if you choose to stay,
Buck Fine, you're in Tampa. Right on.
Until after the storm has passed.
Prayers for safety for all breaking up badly.
Before these conditions worsen and as this hurricane continues to strengthen and ultimately make landfall
what here. What do you mean breaking up badly?
Early morning hours. We also heard from Florida Governor Ron DeSantis several times today. That most recent update coming within the last
rushing
hour
in
or
towards
two.
the outlets on 75.
His message to people as they continue to push the very critical message here that people need to leave to evacuate if you're in certain areas. Let's bring you this update now.
Floridians are like, it's just some rain, man.
Hurricane Idalia is currently about 190 miles southwest of Tampa and almost 300 miles south of Tallahassee with winds of over 100 miles per hour. It is intensifying.
It's coming towards you, Ronnie.
A Category 2 hurricane. It's almost certainly going to make landfall in the state of Florida as a major hurricane. The latest update by the National Hurricane Center made, and we had mentioned this in terms of what the models were showing, they put it at a westward shift. So the impact is going to be further north. and it is going to bring more direct impacts into counties like Leon,
That tail
Jefferson,
band should whip
and
over
Wakulla
us.
County if it continues on that. Now, these things can move over the next 24 hours, but it seems like most of these models are in agreement about the general area. So it's definitely going to hit the Big Bend. Everywhere in the Big Bend is going to get storm surge, is going to see major impact, whether the eye wall's hitting you or not. So please prepare for that. It is going to be a significant
Tula Tetro.
To that
Theirs was a
region of
hurricane
Florida.
in Michigan recently.
Now, if you are in an evacuation zone and you've been directed to evacuate, particularly if you're in a low-lying area or coastal area in that Big Bend region, now's the time to do it. You still have a little bit more time. If you wait much longer, by the time we get in further into tonight, the weather's going to start getting nastier and nastier, and we're looking at an impact of the eye wall arriving sometime tomorrow morning. So you really got to go now. Now's the time. If you don't, if you stay hunkered down tonight, it's going to be too nasty tomorrow morning to be able to do it. Now, if you do choose to stay in one of the evacuation zones, first responders will not be able to get you until after the storm has passed. That's right. They're not going to be able to get there till after the storm has passed.
Got
So
17,010 viewers right now on that live
for your
stream.
family. And remember, you don't need to travel hundreds of miles away. You don't need to outrun the storm. Simply getting to higher ground in a shelter with friend's house, hotels, any of that will work. A lot of times you can do that within your own county.
Not bad for
but you
Fox
certainly
News, I
are
must
thinking
say.
more about traveling tens of miles rather than needing to do hundreds of miles. The National Hurricane Center advisory includes that if this storm hits at high tide, storm surge could reach 10 to 15 feet in some areas of the Big Bend. That is life-threatening storm surge. That is storm surge that if you're there while that hits, it's going to be very difficult to survive that. So please take appropriate precautions. We do have counties, a total of 28 counties have now issued some form of evacuation orders, including more recently Alachua, Hamilton, Leon, Nassau, Putnam, and Sumter. Know your zone on that. Typically, these are going to be zones A. Some will be zone A and B. And if you're in an area, certainly the coastal areas, barrier islands, and then if you're in areas that are low-lying or near some of the rivers, you likely would be advised to be evacuating at this time. We are already seeing impacts. In Southwest Florida, we're seeing storm surge. I mean, the eye of this storm is probably 100 miles or more off the coast of Southwest Florida, and yet those outer bands are already showing significant impacts. So you're going to see impacts all up and down the west coast of Florida as the night goes on and as we get in to the wee hours of tomorrow morning.
Man, this thing's coming really close to where I am,
folks
actually.
For the evacuations, so the tolls have been suspended in Citrus,
We're gonna,
Hernando, Hillsborough,
bro,
Lake,
we're
Castro,
getting
Pinellas,
hit.
and Sumter County. That's
Yeah, we're told. I think our power's going to go out.
Continue until this event
and
is
everything
concluded. We've also worked with the Florida
There's gonna be
Restaurant
trees
and
down.
Lodging Association to make sure that all hotels
What
will
are the
allow you to
winds
bring
of
your
a
pets.
Cat
And only your
3?
pets
And
behind.
when
You
it
gotta
goes
take them
by
with
my
them,
house, we're
take
going to
them
be
with you.
Cat 3.
And these hotels are going to be understanding of that. All the counties have at least one pet-friendly shelter.
Right
as
when it
well.
hits the
So
coast,
please
right
take
as it's
care of
getting
your
on
pets.
land,
Very
it's going to be the
important.
worst
They
for
need
us
you,
right here.
in this type of circumstance. Uber
That's when it's going to be the
has also announced that
closest.
They will be offering free round-trip rides to and from evacuation shelters with a value up to $35. You can use the
At least
code
it's not
Idalia
dragging a lot of
Relief
moisture over
to
from
be
the East
able
Coast.
to claim that. So we want to thank Uber for stepping up and helping. We have all 8 urban search and rescue teams with almost 600 personnel ready to deploy to help with search and rescue.
Hot water in the
Hopefully
Gulf
that's not
shallow.
necessary. Hopefully
Bro.
everyone heeded the warnings, and hopefully nobody ends up in harm's way when the storm hits. But we know that that's likely to be a necessity to have some rescues.
There's
so these folks
zero
are ready
wind
to
here
go.
right
They're
now.
located up and down the state, and they are going to go where they are needed, and we really appreciate having them. We also have additional search and rescue personnel that are going to be augmenting the USAR teams. We've been working with counties to make sure they have the resources they need.
See if
to
my wind
deploy.
speeds have gone
We've
up. My
received
predicted
400
wind
active
speeds.
missions that we are coordinating. We've either fulfilled or will have those fulfilled today.
Yeah, 5 miles an
and be
hour.
ready
So
to go,
50 up to
when the
50
storm
mile an
hits
hour
tomorrow.
gusts,
We have
26
1.1
mile an hour
million
winds.
gallons of fuel that's staged and ready to deploy. We don't know what the fuel situation is going to be like. Sometimes it can be bad, sometimes not as much.
It's not calling for a
This will
lot
be
of
able to
rain
fill
here
gaps if those
until
gaps
Friday.
exist. There are over 50 shelters throughout the state that are open.
That's interesting.
And every county that has any type of evacuation notice does then open at least one shelter for people to go to. Our Florida Highway Safety Motor Vehicle has 5 Florida licensing on wheel mobiles and 6 mini mobiles ready to deploy to impacted areas to help residents
5
replace
p.m.
important
tomorrow
documents such
is when
as
we're supposed to get the
driver's
most
license.
amount of
Hopefully
rain.
that's not going to be necessary, but if you end up in that situation, we want
Less
to have
than
folks that
24
are gonna
hours
be
from
able to
right
help
now.
you out with that. We've deployed almost 250 Starlink internet devices. We have another 500 plus staged and ready to go.
Oh, so
and
that
we'll
we can
likely
use
be
Starlink
putting
in
those
Florida?
into place, soon after the storm
I didn't know that.
passes by. Many school districts have announced school closures for today and for tomorrow. So please just check with your county. But if you're in the path of this storm, it's pretty good bet that the schools are not going to be open tomorrow.
Deer
We
Slayer,
also have
cheers.
18 state colleges and 6 universities that are not having
OW7
school
Vage.
tomorrow as
It
well.
hits, tomorrow
As the winds become
afternoon.
stronger today and into the night, Florida Department of Transportation will be coordinating with
Between like
FHP
5 and
local
midnight
law
or something
enforcement
tomorrow.
to close bridges once wind speeds reach 40 miles an hour.
When it
or
hits
more.
that
So
little
just keep in mind with that,
Bay
with any
area
plans that you have,
in the
once
elbow of
wind gets to a
Florida, like
certain
right there,
point, those bridges are
it's
not
going
going
to
to
kick
be
up
safe
a
to traverse,
whole bunch of
and
energy
Florida
right
Highway
there
Patrol will work with
before it
local
hits land.
officials,
It'll
to
be a
make sure
Category
that
3.
people are kept safe. We have been in contact
That's the
with many
prediction.
states that have offered their assistance, and we're grateful for their efforts.
To see
We've
how
already
hot the
have
ocean gets it.
National Guardsmen from both Tennessee and South Carolina. I want to thank them for stepping up and helping
Really
us
hot
out.
outside,
We
too.
also have called up 33 ambulance strike teams with over 200 ambulances that are ready to surge in any of the impacted areas. So this is crunch time right now. We're going to get hit with a major hurricane. It'll be sometime, the eye will arrive on shore sometime tomorrow morning, most likely.
Oh, he's not here.
Have major impacts.
Yeah, it's got
particularly
giant
along
bait to
Florida's
energize.
Big Bend region. So listen to your local officials.
He's not
Take
in the state of Florida.
precautions to protect you and your family. And once the storm passes, we will have help that will be on the way in the form of power restoration. We were able to go to Wildwood in Central Florida to meet with all the Duke Energy personnel that have been pre-staged there.
Oh, he is
to
in
help
Florida.
with
Sean, the Orca
energy
guy.
and their power restoration
Stay safe, Nick.
efforts.
Dude,
We've
where
got,
is he?
Close to 30,000 people that are in the state of Florida staged for power restoration efforts. So that's going to be a priority to be able to get
Great
the power back on for folks. Obviously,
seal
search
of
and
the
rescue
state
to the extent
of-
that's needed. Those guys are going to
And
be
it's
ready
all
to go.
blurred
And
out,
Kevin
dude.
and his team have a lot of staging.
I think it says
of
Florida.
Food, water, the things that people need when normal services are interrupted. So everybody hang in there. This is going to be something that will leave significant impacts, and particularly in this part of the state, you really got to go back to the late 1800s to find a storm of this magnitude that will enter
I think he's
where
in
this
Florida.
one looks like it's going to enter
Hey, Sean.
tomorrow. So we don't really have a historical analog in anybody's memory. So it's likely to cause a lot of damage, and that's just the reality. So be prepared for that. Be prepared to lose power. And just know that there's a lot of folks that are going to be there to help you get back on your feet. Okay, we're going to hear from Kevin Guthrie.
Thank you, Governor. Good evening, everyone. As the governor said, it's crunch time. We're down to the wire. Hurricane Idalia will be making landfall tomorrow morning. Some parts of Florida are obviously already feeling those impacts. We're seeing a lot of videos.
I think
and
he's in
still pictures
Tallahassee.
coming out of Southwest Florida, specifically in Fort Myers Beach and those areas that were impacted a year ago. Again, want to let those people know that we're going to be there as soon as we can get to you guys tomorrow morning. We will have some of our southern stage
Dave
assets
fishing.
in there to help you guys and
Yeah, most
evaluate
likely.
some of that damage. If you haven't evacuated, you're north
Dude,
of Fort Myers, you're up
Tampa
into the
looks
Central
like
Gulf
it's
Coast,
about to just get-
northern Big Bend area.
Yo, Buck
If
Fiden,
you have not evacuated,
how's
you
the
need to do
weather
that
in
right
Tampa
now.
right now,
You
bro?
need to drop what you're doing. You need to go to your room, pack up, pack your things, and get to safety.
How's the weather? Is it raining, Buckfied 1234 in Tampa? Because, dude, you guys look like you're about to get a massive band over.
Experience historical flood.
And I don't know what happened to our band. It's literally showing it go right over where we are. And there's like no rain outside, no wind, nothing. So we're getting lucky.
When I got the phone call that we're going to be
it's moving right past where I am.
Tropical thing.
Put that in perspective.
Yeah, that's the seal of Florida.
Was predicted for Hurricane Ian in Fort Myers Beach. So please heed the warnings. If you're in that Big Bend area, your emergency managers are calling for an evacuation. Please do it. I was on the phone again with Levy County, John McDonald. He is greatly concerned about Cedar Key. 12 to 13 feet of storm surge there. We've got to act.
Dude, the whole coast looks like it's just going to get slammed with storm surge.
Line, or also referred to as cell line. That's number is 1-800-342.
Dave Fishing. The storm's going right by Tallahassee.
It's going for fucking DeSantis, bro. It's an anti-fascism storm.
How to prepare before, during, and after a hurricane. Road closures, alternate routes, available open shelters, shelters designed for medically dependent individuals, and reentry information once it is safe to return. You can also, of course,
dude, we just dodged the first.
That coast looks like it's curved from being slammed by storms.
Bro, we just got lucky off that first band. It just went right over us. I think it's past. And now it looks totally clear.
Michael Trees. Where are you from?
I'm right from here, man. I was born right down the street. Lived here almost all my life. It looks like
Michael Trees. FL.
Yeah, Orlando, Florida.
Just the exterior portion of your home, and then please.
It looks like we're gonna get lucky here.
The storm. Make sure that you
for a while, for a few hours.
Cash transactions, you don't sign anything. If you've got any type of issues,
my yard still looks nice and clear out there.
You know. CFO's office at 1-877-MY.
No wind.
CFO, and he will certainly help you out through all of that. So please heed warnings. Do smart things. Please evacuate right now if you need to do so. And again, Governor, as always, thank you for your leadership on this.
Michael Trees. Okay, stay.
We've got a generator on the house.
Michael Trees. Be safe.
Thank you, Michael.
That system is set to become a Category 3 hurricane. Right now it's a Category 2 with powerful winds and dangerous storm surges in parts of the Gulf. You heard officials there talking about the concerns of flooding and the message to people to be prepared and to know that this is very serious. You want to go out live now to Fox's Madison Star.
Man, it's when you look at their radar, it just doesn't seem like much. You're like, yeah, it looks like a big storm. It doesn't seem that bad.
Hey Lexi, well, when it comes to the wind, it's really slowly intensifying. Rainfall on and off, but we know, of course, really in the next hour or so, things are going to start to really ramp up. People here just anxiously awaiting landfall, trying to figure out what they're going to do if the damage is as bad as expected. And of course, as of yesterday, there's been several counties ordered to evacuate. And according to the National Weather Service, there's over 5 million people under a hurricane warning. So some really scary stuff for the state of Florida. And Lexi, you mentioned
Michael Trees.
That
passing by its looks.
The biggest concern with all of this. A storm surge of up to 12 to 15 feet is possible in some of the Big Bend region. Another thing that's not working in Florida's favor are the ocean temps. Hurricanes thrive on warm water, and the Gulf of Mexico's water has been hotter than normal for weeks now, and really acting as a fuel for Idalia. There are currently 49 counties under a state of emergency, and Governor Ron DeSantis has deployed thousands of National Guard members to help with storm relief efforts. You, of course, just heard him talking in that press conference.
The worst thing you can do is underestimate.
I heard about the
St. area. They say this is always a stressful time of year. That peak hurricane season, not necessarily anything new to Floridians.
Since you heard about
some
this,
say that a lot of people don't take these warnings serious enough.
I think we're golden. Eventually, maybe not. And this, on the beach, certainly on the west side of St. Pete, this will have an effect. It'll have an effect, St. Pete, Clearwater, all the way up. There will be property damage. There will be flooding. There hopefully no loss of life.
Now, at least for this area, for downtown St. Pete, Lexi, we're still seeing people walking out and about. We're seeing cars on the road. Hopefully that changes, though, through the night, because things are, like we've been saying, expected to be extremely dangerous. But I have to say, at least a lot of people are taking that evacuation order seriously. The hotels in this area, packed to the brim, completely sold out. You see people coming in with loads of bags and boxes, their pets, so a good call on their end. And again, all just kind of anxiously waiting to see what happens and if this area will be spared.
I can't believe that band went right past us. We just got like a drizzle. We got so lucky. Next one, I don't think's not going to be so lucky, bro. You just got to see what that map looks like when it's sitting in the goddamn. And if it stalls, you know, they never know if one of these is just going to stall and build up energy.
Yeah,
Michael Trees.
Like I said,
South Coast.
Florida, hurricanes are no stranger. And this area specifically has not gotten hit by a major hurricane in decades. Of course,
What's the wind speed? What's this thing moving at?
They still had some dangerous effects. But when you talk to business owners specifically, they reference Ian.
Michael Trees.
The worries that they have.
His awesome place in Florida.
I talked to
how many miles per hour is this thing moving at?
Yesterday, and they also have houses in the Fort Myers area, and they lost dozens of those houses. So he says this time they are prepared. They're getting ahead of the game by doing all they can to protect the houses. So I think it really was a lesson to learn the impacts of Ian for not only business owners but just people who live here, vacationers.
I bet there's a way to see the freaking forward speed of this bad boy, bro, on this map. I just. I'm gonna pull it up. Just radar.
Continue to bring all of these great updates for us.
Thank you, Lexi.
All right, let's take this moment to take a quick commercial break here. 8:30 Eastern is your time right now.
Michael Trees. I've a friend that is homeless for there.
Throughout the evening into the early morning hours, bringing you all of this live coverage, tracking Hurricane Idalia as we follow the very latest. So hope you stick with us as we bring you all of this live coverage. We're going to take that quick commercial break and see you back in 2 minutes on the other side of this.
On the other side of this bullshit, where nothing happens. Okay. So look at what's going to be coming over from the other side of Florida. As this thing moves over,
Michael Trees.
It's going to be drawing moisture.
He lives now in Rhode Island.
From the other ocean. From the other side, I should say the other coast. That's what's going to happen, man. It's already starting to, man. It's already drawing moisture over. You can see it, pulling it up from above Daytona.
Michael Trees.
Almost near Jacksonville.
Also, he is going back to Florida in April. Dave Fishing. The more west it hits, the less rain. Dave Fishing. For us.
Nobody's saying anything on Rumble. It's kind of weird. 30 people, supposedly. Not a thing to say. You guys are just watching the coverage, the hurricane coverage. All right.
Here, getting you a live look right now on this Tuesday evening from Orlando, Florida.
Michael Trees. Long time I am packing up some biker Kushne.
Right on.
Dave Fishing. Looks like you're in a weather studio with the naps.
I know.
Continues to intensify. It is threatening a potentially catastrophic collision with Florida's west coast, while officials plead.
Welcome back to Weather Live from Nays Garden.
Over again, we've heard that same message, and it's been good to hear from a lot of our reporters that we've been checking in with that they have been, for the most part, listening to that message. They know it's serious. In fact, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis put out this tweet not that long ago saying Idalia has strengthened to a Category 2 hurricane and is forecast to make landfall as a major hurricane. He then goes on to say here, if you're under an evacuation order, now is the time to leave. You all still have a couple of hours to pack up and to get on the road before conditions deteriorate, but by late tonight, you'll need to hunker down and stay in place. If you choose to stay, first responders will not be able to get to you until after the storm has passed. So the storm already packing 105-mile-per-hour winds, and the outer bands have been lashing Florida for hours, already causing some flooding in certain areas, and that's expected to continue to strengthen here before it reaches Florida's Big Bend coast. We heard officials with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis saying earlier this
Michael
week
Trees.
Historic flooding
Cheers
in
all.
certain parts of the state. So really taking these warnings seriously as officials bring these updates here. We've been taking you throughout all of the updates too, not only from hearing from FEMA earlier today at the White House, hearing from the Florida governor, but also taking you throughout certain areas, certain counties. We want to take you out now to Manatee County, Florida, hearing an update from officials there.
Crews and first in teams, and we'll try and get power linemen out as quickly as we can, but we don't want people in their way. We want to stay clear out of their way so that we can restore power and restore the county to its full operating level as soon as humanly possible. So with that, I'll turn things over to our Public Safety Director, Jody Fisk.
Good afternoon, everyone. Just as a reminder, we have issued mandatory level A evacuations. That is all mobile homes, manufactured, and RVs. So please, if you've not left, take the opportunity now, gather what you need. You can go to one of our shelters. We currently have 3 shelters that are open for the general population: Freedom Elementary, Mills Elementary, and Miller Elementary. Currently at Freedom, we do have 129 evacuees. There are 91 evacuees at Mills and 94 at Miller. Please, again,
God, man.
if you have not left, take what you need, make your way to a shelter, to a friend, to a family
Michael
member, do
Trees.
what you need to keep yourself
They have said the real
safe.
Kush came from Florida. It was a clone that they was sent to
If you
California.
are choosing not to go to one of our shelters and you are going to seek evacuation elsewhere, tens of miles, you don't need to drive to the Florida-Georgia line, tens of miles away from evacuation level A. Make sure that you are comfortable, that you are safe, and ride out the storm. And again, please pay attention to the surge. Tomorrow morning when the winds die down is not going to be the time to try to go home. Pay attention to all of our updates that are coming from public safety. Another reminder for everyone, there will be no trash pickup today or tomorrow, and recycling and yard waste is canceled for the week. If your trash pickup day was today, you will get picked up Thursday. Thursday's trash pickup will be on Friday. Friday's trash pickup will be on Saturday. You can also go to our website to check for all of those updates. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Deputy Director and Emergency Management Chief Steve Lichauer.
Oh, man.
Good afternoon, Steve Lichauer, Deputy Director of Public Safety. I want to bring to light some of the important actions that we've been doing. We have put in place today our 7 first-in teams strategically placed throughout the county. What these teams are is public works.
I just got this horrendous hive in the middle of my hand. I put some, it wouldn't stop itching, man. It felt like something was sticking through my skin. I took some triage oil, rubbed it in. I'm like, it's so much better. She works like a miracle.
And our transportation team helped evacuate 116 patients from a downtown assisted living facility.
Bro, it's showing more moisture over my area again. That's weird on this map.
Please don't wait until the last minute. Now is the time to evacuate.
There's no room.
As Director Fisk said.
Oh, there's wind,
tens
though.
of miles, not hundreds of miles, but now is the time to do this. We do not know yet exactly.
Finally got the first wind coming through.
We know we're going to get surge.
My banana trees are going to get raped.
We're worried about flooding. The thing with the flooding is the majority
I should just cut all the leaves off them right
surge
now.
and flood comes after the eye of the storm has gone by. So there'll be a delay of those flooded roads, as it's been mentioned by the chair and the director. If you cannot see the roadway, do not drive through the roadway. We've already been in communication with all the cities, the island communities, about the roads being flooded, what our actions will be. If a road is flooded, it's closed. We're concerned about the surge of 4 to 7 feet, when that will come upon, and we will see winds of over 35 miles an hour or more. If you feel safe with that kind of surge and you're going to stay in place, then you're going to have to stay in place, because once the winds reach 35 miles an hour or more, or roads are flooded, there's no way of emergency responders to get to you.
What part of Florida you live in? I'm just north of Orlando.
Evacuate now. If in doubt, move now. You have a very short window of opportunity. When it gets dark, you'd not be able to see the roadways. We don't know what the winds are going to do. So please, if you are going to evacuate, do it now before it gets dark. For more information, as has been mentioned, you can go to our website, mymanatee.org, or you can sign up at that website for Alert Manatee. Thank you.
A level 1 activation is 24-hour staffing, so we've actually been at that level since yesterday. We have 2 shifts, an Alpha Bravo shift. Every emergency support function is providing 24-hour coverage at the desk. So really since yesterday, we have been on constant conference calls. We've been in direct contact with the state emergency management as well as our federal partners. So it's 24 hours until the storm passes, and we are sure that it is safe for residents to return back to their homes and the shelters are clear. Based on the number of population in the affected areas and what the shelters can hold. Absolutely. The coastal areas are definitely going to see the bigger impact. The storm has a very, very large wind field, so we expect to see wind impacts throughout the entire county. I would also encourage everyone, please get registered for the alerts. Due to the side of the storm that we're looking to expect, we are expecting to see some tornadic activity, so those alerts will go out as soon as we receive them from the National Weather Service. The coastal counties, or coastal area, however, will definitely see the higher wind gusts, and they will see the surge. The first in teams, excuse me. Once the storm passes, the wind dies down, and it's light out, those teams are responsible to go in and make sure that the roads are clear. So if there are down power lines, if there are trees in the way, any kind of debris, they actually make it passable for first responders. And with the power companies there, we're also able to clear any down power lines and make sure those lines are not active. I would urge them to reconsider. If they are choosing to stay, I would highly recommend making sure all of your mobile devices are fully charged. Make sure that you have a cell signal. Call 911 if you find yourself in need. If you decide that you've made a mistake and you didn't evacuate, please do not hesitate to call 911. We will mark your address and make sure that we have noted where you are,
so we can
that
come
when it is safe for
zip
responders
up your
to come
body
out,
and
we can
take
go
it
to
to the
that
morgue.
location and make sure that you are okay. Great. Thank you.
All right, you're just listening in there to that update out of Manatee County, Florida, and we have been pouring in as we track the latest with Idalia. And let's start with this one here from the National Weather Service, Tampa Bay. It says a tornado watch has been issued for parts of Florida until 6 a.m. Eastern time. You can see that these
tornado
areas of Florida are highlighted here as being under a tornado watch. And if you pull it up closer, you can take a better
shit,
look
that's
here
us,
at the
man.
areas that are highlighted and that are under
Tornado
this
watch right here,
now,
bro.
Manatee County, where we just brought you that update,
Damn.
that's just south of Tampa. So everywhere here that is highlighted is where we're getting this information. We also have this tweet as well from our team at Fox 13 saying, I spy an eye. Idalia continues to intensify. Again, right now, Category 2. It is going to continue to strengthen into a Category 3 is the projection. We also have this tweet from
I think
meteorologist Matthew Capucci, who we spoke
we
with.
might find some better coverage. Let me see what we got here.
We're going to try this one more time, folks.
Reporting on the speed.
One more time. Please, for the love of goodness, tell me that we are live and we are not in 360.
You good?
We're good now. Okay. Everybody give a round of applause to me for finally figuring out how to hit the go live button on YouTube. 1.5 million subscribers, been doing this for years, just now figured it out.
Live. That's not live. Hey, that's us.
1.5 million subscribers, been doing this for years.
I
just
clicked
now
on our video. I clicked on it. That was fucking funny, dude. Oh my god. Okay, that was Fox News. Let's go with this one. Live tracking. I want to get some speed on this bad boy. And just all the information. I want the information. Who's got the good live? Who's got that good news? Oh, commercial break. We can go back. We can go back a little bit.
Disgusting, but I think it's going to be tomorrow at that second high tide, the one that's a 3.0.
Oh, here we go.
You've heard a lot about it.
16 miles an hour. Here we go. This one tells you all that
It's going to give
stuff.
us more of our significant concerns for surge.
105 mile an hour
There's
winds.
the updated track. I throw this out here because some of the models were doing that. I mean, look at this big old bend at the end. No one's really talking much about it with good reason, but the GFS actually took this and did a complete loop. Has a much weaker system, but did a complete loop and brought it right back into the Gulf again.
Oh shit! I literally thought of that. I was like, what if that thing just does a big 360, man? I totally thought of that.
About its closest approach
That is
to
so funny.
the Bay Area.
It just comes back.
And then as a Category 3 hurricane, 12 hours later at 2 p.m., it's already going to be in Georgia.
In
So
Georgia?
That's how fast it's going to be moving, which makes landfall here around 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. Of course, our concern is if that track moves more to the west, and the Hurricane Center said that could happen at 11, and as long as this is moving north, I suspect that track will continue to move off to the west. And so that's something that we really, really need to keep a close eye on. So look how small the hurricane force winds are. See that? Those are the orange right there, 58 to 73. They're the stronger winds.
Wesley
the yellow winds are
Chapel.
where we're in right now. So we're seeing these winds along the coast. But as this moves north, those hurricane winds never get really any closer to the Bay Area. But the winds that we are dealing with and the surge, let's go over to Jason to talk about that. Jason.
And Dennis, while you were just talking, Ada Ray sent it over to me. Tornado watch has been issued. Let me see if that's already been loaded graphically. It has. So there you go. Everybody in our area, that includes our inland spots. We were wondering if it would be that far east. It goes right to the border here of Polk and Highlands County. There is not a tornado watch over to the eastern side of the peninsula. So that tornado watch means that we are going to expect to see a couple of isolated tornadoes. We see this nearly with every tropical system, whether it's a depression or a tropical low or offshore strong hurricane like this one, like Dennis said, it's a spinning thunderstorm. And
God, I
all
hope we
these
don't get a
individual spins
tornado.
that happen, plus you have land interaction,
Oh my
friction,
God.
and all that sets the stage for us to potentially see some of these supercells offshore that may turn onshore and develop into something a little stronger. So I'm going to spend just a second on here with the radar, see if we've got any suspicious areas that are showing up. Of course, the squall line, or the squall that we're talking about coming onshore, it's literally within 15 miles of the coast right now, and it's within these areas that we'll watch for the potential for some rotation to develop. So if we were to see tornado warnings begin to get issued, it would be here in our southern counties first, south of Tampa Bay. I'm going to flip the radar off, I'm going to turn the rain off, and we're going to look at the winds.
Dude, it looks like it's just
inside of this.
pouring
So it
right
looks a
there
little
on the
funky, and
beach.
yeah, there are a couple of areas of suspicion that I am seeing. So let me pause it. We'll zoom in onto these spots here. What we look for is a difference in color on the radar, and what that means for you and me is that when you see two colors that are the kind of the same color, but not necessarily. We've got this spot here, and then maybe a few spots under the radar down here as well. But this is a little bit of spin. So we've got the blue going this way, the red, green going this way. These two right next to each other indicate that we do have some rotation out there within these cells that are offshore. So that's a potential heading into the next few hours, hence the tornado watch until all the way tomorrow morning at 6
need
a.m.
some
So right
guitar.
now, no tornado warnings, but just be advised that we may be doing
Feeling
a
the
little
winds,
tornado
no.
coverage here as we go through the night.
Yes,
So
I
these
live
can
in
hold
Florida.
together
Go
and
hard.
move a bit farther south. But like Dennis said, we've got to talk about the surge. The surge is going to be the biggest forecast headache for us here over the next couple of hours, and I say that because
The blue
we're looking
dot
at
is
the
you.
onshore winds that are
No, the blue
coinciding with
dot
high
is
tide
Orlando.
times, and that all
I'm
working together
north
to
of
give
there.
us the surge potential. But it's all about the wind direction
you
first.
just had a
So take a look at this. This
Skynet
is
moment.
Futurecast in the Gulf of Mexico right now. With the eye being just to the west of Port Charlotte right now in southern Sarasota County, that means that our winds are just now beginning to turn onshore here, the south of the eye. To the north of the eye, where we're looking at the peak forecast for surge potential, we're still looking at
Why
winds
you
around
move?
the eye coming out of the east. That's an offshore wind, and that
Sir,
is
with
right
you
now
100%.
limiting the surge risk. As
Thank
we
you,
go forward in
Oak.
time, though,
I
as the
appreciate
eye
that
begins
so
to move
much.
north of your latitude, that's when your winds shift back
We're not
onshore
sure.
and back out of the southwest. So
Why
by 1 a.m., as we're gearing up
did
for
I
high
move from
tide, some of you
California?
around
Oh,
midnight,
because
others
my
as late as
father's
3 or
sick.
4 in the morning. Just depends on your location from north to south, and I'll have those tide times here in a second. But by 1 a.m., the center is now basically at the latitude here of Clearwater, and that means that we're beginning to see the onshore winds coming into Tampa Bay. The surge has already started in our southern spots, maybe as early as 9 to 10 o'clock. The water's starting to creep up here in southern Sarasota County, where you do have the potential for 2 to 4, maybe 5 foot of surge in these areas. And in Tampa, that's where we're going to start to watch and see how much water can get pushed into the bay, because in Tampa area, we're looking at that tide time, high tide being around 2:30, 3 o'clock, and that's when we're looking at the center beginning to bring in some of those stronger areas of winds and more of a water
So
push.
this is the
Then you
prediction.
fast forward to 4 a.m., the latitude has now reached Citrus County, so we're seeing all of our
Bro.
coast at that point beginning to get the
God,
water
man,
pushed
we might get
onshore
lucky.
and beginning to fill the bays and estuaries, and also pushing into some of the freshwater
It'd be
rivers
so nice
that
if
go
we
out
get
into
lucky.
the bays. And that's all setting up the potential for us to get these near record level surges that we have not seen along our coast in quite some time. The last several strong, powerful hurricane systems have moved inland before they got to our latitude, which kept offshore winds nearly for the entire coast the whole time. Even in Hurricane Ian moved onshore just south of Sarasota County. So while we had the eye wall in southern Sarasota County, the whole time it was moving with winds offshore. So we had the significant and severe wind damage in Northport, and then of course the freshwater flooding that happened after. But in places like Inglewood, Manasota Key, Casey Key, Nokomis, we didn't see that significant surge in these areas because of the offshore wind. So that's what was different with this storm compared to last year, compared to Irma, compared to Charlie. So often the storms have moved in to
It's
the
gonna be bigger,
southern
though,
peninsula,
tomorrow.
and then have come up, which have kept us on the
According to
offshore
the
side,
models.
the off-wind side, I should say, of our surge. So let me find the surge tide map. This is what we're looking at. So in Crystal River, around 3 o'clock, the eye should be approaching your latitude, and we're looking at 3:02 into the morning for high tide. So if we can hold off the eye going past Crystal River by 3 a.m. as the tide is at its highest, we may save a little bit on this first high tide of that flood surge potential. But the next high tide, like Dennis was saying, is at 2:47. The storm will be well away from the area, but we're still looking at, of course, the onshore wind around the circulation, with it being to our north. In St. Petersburg, 3:31 in the morning is our high tide. We're already going to start to see the onshore wind here by midnight. So this is where we could actually run into high tide coinciding with the onshore winds in our central and southern spots. In Sarasota, 1:53 a.m. By that point, places like St. Armand Circle, Lido Key, Siesta Key, you're beginning to get the surge pushed back onto your beaches at that point as well. So 302 is what we're looking at here in the Tampa-St. Pete area, and that's what we're going to be talking significantly here, Dennis, about the surge potential. So I'll send it back over to you.
Yeah, Jason. So a couple of things I want to go over, kind of administrative things, if you will. All right. So first of all, I want to welcome the folks who are watching us from Florida 24, especially in the West Palm area, because we are now kind of covering the entire state in our coverage, and with good reason, because the entire state is being impacted by Idalia. I mean, you can see right there a very well-defined eye getting stronger. The outflow boundaries extend all the way down past Fort Myers. You have a moisture
Man,
plume
that
even
thing
coming
looks
in
like
from
it's
Miami,
stalling to me.
up toward Daytona, Jacksonville, but obviously this is the area that
What
we're
did I
most
say the
concerned
forward
about.
speed
So we're going to
was?
be talking about areas from Tallahassee to Jacksonville. I want to mention Gainesville. We have a lot of folks
Oh,
who have
there it
kids
is,
who go to
16
UF,
miles an hour.
and UF is not going to have the issues
No.
that they could have if this track had been more Cedar Key.
Yeah,
I mean,
16.
Cedar Key is only about an hour from Gainesville, and that track could have very easily been a real issue. Matter of fact, I have a daughter who goes to UF, and I was talking to her yesterday saying you could see 75, 85 mile an hour winds. You're not going to see that anymore, because as this storm has moved far to the west, it's going to be more up toward the north, and in fact, well to the northwest of Jacksonville as well. I think it's going to end up even closer to the Savannah and the Carolinas. So that'll happen in 24 to 36 hours. But again, we are with our Florida 24 network and our group of reporters from all the way in West Palm, straight on up to Tallahassee. We're going to be all over the place. And I do want to mention one other thing. We're not going to necessarily see widespread power outages, but we are going to see some power outages. And since this is hitting the Bay Area at night, that's just a lame thing. That's
it's
the
a
worst
given.
thing. In the middle of the night, lose power. Yeah, you can't see anything. You don't know what's going on.
You'll be
It's
sleeping.
pretty scary, right?
No,
So we've got
because
a
you're already
solution
asleep.
for you.
It's
And
cool.
by the way, you should be charging your phones.
Stay in bed.
At all times until that power goes out, if it actually does. So here's what we're going to do.
We should
We're gonna
watch.
show you on the screen. It's a QR code for our ABC Action News app. Now, I'm not sitting here trying to pitch an app. I promise you I'm not. I'm doing this because while you lose power, you can still watch our newscast. And that is huge. I've been in power outages chasing storms before, and it's kind of lonely because you don't know what's going on. You're not sure where these storms are. You don't know if
So
there's a
waste
tornado
your
warning
battery by
or whatnot.
watching
So
me.
you scan this code right now, you download our app, you will be able to watch our live coverage all
And
the
then when you
time,
finally
all
need to
night
make that
long. We
emergency
will be
call,
here.
you'll have no
And
power
Lady
left in your
Jameson,
phone.
They actually pulled a chair up to the desk. So I'm thinking, well, they're in for the duration now, although it looks like they put it away now, so I don't know what's going on over there. But regardless, like I said, you will have the ability to watch us if you lose power, and that is a huge, huge thing. We're on our local radio stations. We've been doing a lot of live shots, talking with MJ over at Q105. And so at the end of the day, we've got you covered everywhere. And it's not like we're watching you like Alexa and all the other stuff. No, no, no. This is simply us trying to be everywhere you already are. And if you're not watching on TV, maybe you're watching on streaming app, or maybe you're watching on Facebook or TikTok or Twitter or X or whatever the case may be. So that's our goal, to be in all those places to serve you. So when you get a big storm like this, you're never in need. You're always going to know what's going on, and that helps you to make those decisions you need to keep you and your family safe during the rest of this hurricane season. Jameson?
All right, thank you, Dennis. Just took a load off there for a few minutes. Now I'm back up again, ready to go. Another reminder, as some of you start losing power, as Dennis mentioned, we've also partnered with our 6 local radio stations. You'll be able to hear ABC Action News on their stations using a battery-powered radio if the power goes out. I was just checking some of the outage numbers from all the different providers, from TECO, FPL, Duke Energy. We do have some sporadic power outages going on in the Bay Area right now. Nothing major, though, at this point, so that is certainly good news. Our radio partners, as you see, are right there on your screen. Turning back now to our team coverage out in the field. Let's go ahead and check in with our Vanessa Riza, who is live for us at the St. Pete Pier this evening. Vanessa?
Yeah, good evening to you, Jameson. As you were pitching to me, the wind started to pick up even more and the rain coming down even more. Now, we drove through downtown St. Pete. It looked kind of as business as usual. People in the bars, they were enjoying the evening for as long as they can right now. But we're at the pier right now. I want to give you a better idea. We have a little bit more light here than we did in Shore Acres. So it is whistling out here, guys. All of these boats, every now and then, you can hear the wind pick up and you can hear it through these boats just swaying.
No, I haven't checked on North.
So
The
we
alien.
have seen a few people in the downtown St. Pete area here along the pier, not so much. When we were in Shore Acres about 30 minutes ago, we actually did see a person on the jet ski on the waters. A lot of people checking out Grand Bayou or Bayou Grand just to see how it was going. And we're kind of seeing the same as we come down here to St. Pete, albeit the wind has picked up. It's a little bit more windier here than it was in Shore Acres within the past 20 minutes, as is the rain. That's coming down a little bit more steadily now. And we're going to stay out here, kind of monitor, drive around, see what we can find. The good news is we're not seeing as many people on the streets right now. So we will continue to drive around, like I said, see if there are still people out here and see how this weather progresses. But for now, I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Vanessa, thank you. We want to continue our team coverage staying in Pinellas County now. We're going to check in and see what Julie Salamone has found out there for us tonight. Julie, welcome to our coverage this evening.
Hello, Jameson. We are out here not far from downtown Dunedin. The Dunedin Pier is right behind me, as well as the marina. A couple people outside walking around tonight. Their first thing they said to me was, "Where's Dennis Phillips?" I'm like, "He's working hard." So I think they were a little disappointed when they saw us. They were really hoping to see Dennis. Again, we're over here not too far from the pier. Pinellas County officials are urging everyone, they really wanted everyone to be sheltering in place by 7 o'clock tonight. They're also encouraging people to stay active on social media, on their Facebook account, on their Twitter account for updates. Right now in Pinellas County, there's a evacuation order for just Zone A, but they are just urging people to stay up to date. A little bit of rain out here, a little bit of wind. We were in downtown Dunedin a couple minutes ago. A couple people walking out. Some people had the golf cart out. Not too much wind down there. Most of the businesses are closed down there. So again, Pinellas County is just urging people to really, shelter in place, stay inside if you don't have to go outside. There is an evacuation order for people living in Zone A. They're also encouraging people that power outages are likely. So if the power does go out, do not call 911. Instead, call your power company and report it, like Duke Energy. So that is the latest live out here in Dunedin. A little bit of rain, a little bit of wind. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Julie, thank you. Now from Pinellas to Hillsborough, let's check in with Adam Walzer. He's been out at the Riverwalk throughout the day for us and joins us live now in downtown Tampa. Adam?
Well, Jameson, the rain just started for the first time we've seen it in about 3 or 4 hours. We had that band come through in the early afternoon, and then it's been completely dry. This Riverwalk area and Curtis Hickson Park were full of people up until about nightfall, and now people have cleared out, I guess, going back in to wait out the storm. But we ran into quite a few people. In fact, 2 college freshmen at the University of Tampa who were here from Minnesota. They said this was their first hurricane. They were out looking around to see what was going on, and we told them that, you know, the worst is yet to come and to go in and make themselves safe. But they said they were already getting calls from their family and friends up north, concerned about what they were seeing on the weather map.
Man, that band completely missed us. That first one, we got lucky. I mean, it rained a little bit, but...
The big concern here is that storm surge, which could pump a lot of water from Tampa Bay up the Hillsborough River and in here into Curtis Hickson Park. In fact, a lot of the Riverwalk went underneath water. Just a couple of years ago when we had Tropical Storm Ada, and this could easily do that if these predictions hold true, depending on the timing and depending on the tide at the time. So obviously it's a hurry up and wait, and hopefully things will not be as bad as originally forecast. But lots of people here are already taking precaution in the low-lying areas around Hillsborough County. Reporting live from downtown Tampa, Adam Walser, ABC Action News.
Pretty quiet out there tonight. All right, thank you, Adam. We've been showing you this all day if you've been watching us, but we want to stress how important staying connecting to us is as people start to lose power tonight, and it will happen. So make sure to charge your phone now, any backup batteries you might have as well, and download our ABC Action News free mobile
and then,
app.
make sure you charge up your phone and then download our app and then turn on your phone and watch our app.
Free apps to download.
Fucking idiots.
Our coverage continues right after this.
You guys are morons. All right, you guys, thanks for watching my show tonight. Hope you had fun. I will see you guys tomorrow. And I will report in and let you know what's going on with this hurricane. As far as Ben, as far as we're concerned right now, we got really lucky. That first band came over and we got like a drizzle. Dude, and now the radar is showing that we've got this big break, but there's another band coming. When that thing's sitting on the coast, we'll see what happens over here. I don't know, man. Hopefully it won't be anything, man. There won't be any damage or anything, and no power will be out or any of that shit. 'Cause nobody needs that. You know, just hoping for the best for everybody that's out there having to deal with this, because it's bullshit and it sucks, but we'll see how bad it gets when it hits Category 3 and it sits on the coast, and see how long it fucking sits in one spot. Look for good. Hey, what's up, Mrs. Ramsey? Hello. Wow, Token Tony Z. Wow, you guys are all of a sudden, you're going to chat now. That's crazy. You know, the reason I usually shut down the shows is because no one's chatting anymore. So now all of a sudden everyone's saying hello in the chats. Gravetacular, Jeff Lund, Dave Fishing, Ben Roach. You guys weren't talking 2 minutes ago. But, well, there's a bunch of you here. There's a bunch of you here. Hashtag keep it open. You tried to type it. That's funny. Alright, you guys. You just got here? Yeah. Yeah. I could totally keep it open, but nobody said hashtag keep it open. Don't shut down. We're watching the fucking news. Well, can you type in hashtag? Can any of you type in hashtag keep it open? Is that like too much to ask? If you want me to keep the live show open? None of you could do it. Can you play it from the news if you're going to leave by like listening through your channel? Yeah, if you type in hashtag keep it open in my chat. Can you type in hashtag keep it open in my chat? Like Dave Fishing just did, and Cyber just did, and Sadie finally figured it out how to do it. Close enough. There's no spaces in a hashtag. There's no spaces in hashtags. You just hashtag the word keep. Close enough. Okay, good. All right, I'll let it play for you guys. Definitely.
Significantly. Now, with the storm surge, that water will go back out. It's not like New Orleans, where they're below sea level, and when water comes in, it has to be pumped out. With storm surge with our area, well, the water comes in, and then when the winds shift in the other direction, the water goes back out, and everything flows back kind of to an equilibrium. So we're still looking at that surge issue. The one overnight will be something, but I think the one tomorrow afternoon might be a bit higher. But here's the advantage. We may have caught a break here on this one, because tomorrow at that high tide, that storm is already going to be approaching Georgia. And yes, it is large and it has some deep reach, but as it pulls away, it's going to have less of a push of water into our area. So the high tide at 3 a.m. tonight is the one where I think we'll be most concerned, I guess, in terms of the hurricane itself pushing water in. But at least on that one, we're 1.3 feet lower right off the bat than we will be tomorrow at 3 o'clock. We have some live pics right now from Key West, obviously on the other side. You'd think, well, that's a long way from the center, but they are still obviously getting some surf. I recognize that point, Jason. Isn't that the most southern spot in the continental U.S. with the little thing right there? Yeah, so you're definitely seeing some surf coming into the area down south. I've had a lot of folks ask me about Naples, about Venice, about Fort Myers, you know, areas that were hit so hard with Ian, and they're going to be okay. I mean, everybody's going to be okay with wind. We will not see hurricane sustained winds. We'll barely see sustained tropical storm in some forces, but we will see those gusts as those bands come on through. So Action News with our continuing coverage of Hurricane Idalia will continue right after this.
Welcome back to our continuous coverage tracking Hurricane Idalia. I'm Wendy Ryan. Hernando County is an area we continue to look at as the hours tick on. Reporter Katie LaGrone is there and has the very latest for us.
I'm Katie LaGrone in Hernando County. We're actually on the edge of Spring Hill, just into the entrance onto Hernando Beach, and you can see this area has been closed off. Deputies have actually been on Hernando Beach all day, strongly urging residents in the area to go ahead and evacuate to higher ground. The area has been under a mandatory evacuation all day. In fact, all low-lying and coastal areas in Hernando County, that's west of US 19, are under a mandatory evacuation. Why? Because of what we've heard from our crews around the west coast of Florida. It's all about that water, and more water. Emergency officials are not expecting storm surge in this area. They say it will happen anywhere from 6 to 9 feet over the course of the next 18 hours. So that is why they are telling people to go ahead and seek higher ground. In fact, our hotel is on the east side of US 19 in Spring Hill. The general manager told me earlier today when we were checking in that the hotel is fully booked, and most of the people who are staying there are locals who have heeded the advice of emergency officials to go ahead and make it to higher ground and weather out this storm. I will tell you, we did just come out of this area just to take a look. There are still some people there. We saw a couple walk in the neighborhood. We saw another couple still sandbagging their home. So there's not, at the end of the day, deputies can only strongly urge people to leave. Many have, but some are still around. For now, that is the very latest from Hernando County. Back to you.
Katie, thank you. And let's check back in with our Lydia Vasquez. She has been in Oldsmar throughout the day. Let's go to her live now. And Lydia, I know that area sometimes floods.
Yeah, hey Wendy, that's kind of the big concern here is that storm surge. So we are on Tampa Road, about 2 minutes or so from the bay, and Tampa Road is quiet. Everyone is off the roads for the most part. A lot of the businesses and restaurants are closed for the last couple of hours. There's a bar here in this area. It's
Come on, Tula, stay awake.
They tell me they're open until 3 a.m. and everyone there is saying, they're going to weather out the storm. And I'd say that's about 50-50. We've seen people closer to the water with their homes boarded up, sandbags out, who say they're not taking any chances with this storm surge, and others say, they're going to prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Where we're standing here, it's starting to pick up a bit. It's raining for the first time since around 3 o'clock where we've been, and the wind is picking up as well, about 18 mile per hour.
What you need is Flex Seal and the entire Flex Seal family of products.
Storm. So again, it's kind
We're
of
gonna Flex Seal the entire state of Florida.
Boarding up their homes and have evacuated. They told us they're going to a friend's house. Others gonna, stick it out and see what happens. We're gonna be out here pretty much all night and into the morning and tomorrow as well, continuing to monitor these conditions and talking with people if, they end up changing their plans. But again, right now, pretty calm, rain coming down. Just saw some lightning behind me as well, and the winds are picking up. But really, that concern remains from that storm surge. We'll keep you updated. But for now, I'm Lydia Vasquez in Oldsmar, ABC Action News.
All right, Lydia, stay safe out there. We want to check this out. This is brand new video. We just got into the newsroom of flooding in Fort Myers. Of course, you remember that area got hit very hard with Hurricane Ian last year. And now we're seeing more flooding with this storm. Of course, as those outer bands continue to move through, we may see even more damage. But again, this is in Fort Myers, where already they are seeing flooding after the devastation they saw with Hurricane Ian last year. We now want to move to Pasco County, another area bracing for the storm. Our Eric Waxler is in Port Richey and joins us live with the very latest out there. Eric?
Yeah, things very quiet on the west side of Pasco County along US 19, as they should be right now with the mandatory evacuation in place. I saw very few cars, very few people out right now, and it is very calm right now. We are at Nick's Park in Port Richey. This is a popular boat launch spot. Lots of waterside restaurants are over here too. The Cody River comes out this way and you can head out straight to the Gulf, but again, very calm right now, although it does look like the water is starting to creep in. And again, everyone on this side of US 19 is under a mandatory evacuation. That's part of Zone A. There is a voluntary evacuation for Zones B and C. Now, I stopped by Pasco County's Emergency Operations Center earlier, where they are monitoring the storm very closely. They've done this many times before over recent years. They are expecting a storm surge in Pasco tonight around midnight at high tide, anywhere from 6 to 9 feet, and then an even higher storm surge tomorrow afternoon. So many people not only live near the water in Pasco along the coast, but along the Cody and Anclote rivers as well.
So storm surge this time around, we're still worried about the Anclote, the Elfers area, but we're running the modeling. We're going to see a lot of water in homes along the coast. We do have a couple of neighborhoods that are very prone to freshwater flooding. We're monitoring those. We've got pumps in place already for those areas. They've pumped down a lot of areas. Some of the storm gates have been opened to let the water shed out. But right now, we're just in a waiting game to see what happens.
Yeah, and that's Andrew Fossa, Pasco County's Emergency Management Director. I asked him if, with the storm being so far off of the coast, if he was feeling any kind of sense of relief. He said no, not with that storm surge possibility coming. He said also after the storm passes, there's the threat of flooding on the Anclote River because so many other areas, so many other counties, the water actually makes its way into the Anclote, so the water levels there could rise even a day or so after the storm passes. Here in Pasco County Fire Rescue and the Sheriff's Office, they all have extra personnel on staff along with 911, and 6 shelters are open. But right now, very calm. We are expecting the rain to really start here in the next hour or so. Live in Pasco County, I'm Eric Waxler, ABC Action News.
All right, Eric, thank you. We'll check back with you. Meanwhile, ABC Action News reporter Mary O'Connell is also in Pasco County near Hudson Beach for us this evening. So, Mary, any changes in conditions since we last checked with you a little while ago?
Well, the wind has certainly picked up since we last spoke to you about an hour ago. It's still no rain here, and that's kind of been the scene for the several hours we've been here since earlier this afternoon. We had a little bit of light rain earlier today, but just the wind's picking up a little bit. I can tell you that people have cleared out and gone home, so that's good that people are hunkering down in their homes. They told us earlier today that they were kind of taking those final few moments to kind of embrace everything and the scene and then get back to their homes. Where they had their supplies, their water, their gear, and everything. People had boarded up their windows. We also saw people pull their boats out of the water. But a lot of people just kind of taking in the area here. Pasco County officials did say that anyone that lives in Zone A, they should be leaving, and they had been asking people to really heed that warning and know your evacuation zone because of the threat of storm surge here in the area along the Pasco County coastline. They'd also said that folks who were living in zones B and C should really heed that warning as well. They're asking people, as they expect those conditions to deteriorate throughout the evening, to really stay off the roads. Of course, when winds get too high, emergency vehicles can't be on the roads either. But right now, we're just kind of monitoring these conditions. It's windy out here, but no rain yet, but we'll be out here for the remainder of the evening.
Wouldn't it be helpful to explain the
thank you.
zones?
Yeah, those outer bands are continuing to come in.
You guys are
Moving our
worthless.
coverage back to Tampa, our Adam Walser joins us live on the Riverwalk. That's in downtown Tampa. And Adam, I know you've moved around the city all day long in different parts of South Tampa and beyond. Any changes now as we go further into the evening?
Well, you can see I'm blowing around a little bit more than I was in the last hour, Wendy, because the wind really has picked up. We're starting to see some raindrops, and downtown Tampa has turned into a ghost town. Throughout most of the afternoon, we were seeing people out there in their baby carriages and their strollers and on bicycles, walking, jogging, just enjoying the time before the storm. Maybe they got off of work a little bit early because of the impending storm. But right now, after nightfall, everyone's kind of cleared out, and you're looking right here at the Riverwalk. And anyone who spends any time here in downtown Tampa can tell you this is about the quietest you're ever going to see this, because, of course, people going back and forth to downtown conventions, staying at the Riverwalk Hotel, which is since shut down earlier tonight. Of course, some of the restaurants and other entertainment venues here in downtown Tampa. Right now, it looks like people are heeding the warning, getting inside and hunkering down for the night as this rain is starting to pick up. And of course, the big concern here is in the hours to come in nightfall, when we start to see some of that, some of the water pushing in that could push up through Hillsborough Bay. And this is the Hillsborough River up in this area. And of course, with 6 to 8 feet possible, or excuse me, 4 to 6 feet possible, that could put a lot of this area right here underwater within the next several hours. Reporting live from downtown Tampa, Adam Walser, ABC Action News.
Adam, thank you. And finally tonight, Chad Mills has been following Hurricane Idalia. And Chad, I know you're in Johns Pass. Have conditions dissipated out there? Any storm surge yet? How's it look?
So since we last talked a few minutes ago, it is starting to pick up a little bit. The wind is good and steady now, maybe gust of 30,
but look at the
35
winds
miles an
behind
hour.
them.
And you can see kind of some of the surge. It's a bit exaggerated, because the Gulf emptying into Johns Pass right here, a lot of water entering this pass. But you see the water kind of nailing these rocks that line the side of the pass, kind of shooting up some of this water up into the parking area. There's actually a seawall to the right of where you're looking that leads out to the Gulf that a lot of people use to walk down to the beach. Just walked down there a few minutes ago. It's off in the distance there in the darkness, but definitely waves hitting that seawall, going over that seawall.
It's weird that they're so far down south.
I would say within about 30 minutes it won't be safe at all to even walk out there. You see these waves really starting to intensify as they hit the rocks right here in Johns Pass. As we mentioned, the worry here is storm surge, not necessarily wind or wind damage, anything like that. They're worried about the surge coming in as high tide comes in, which Dennis told us a little while ago is around 3 to 3:30 right here in Johns Pass, where we were earlier in Indian Rocks Beach. It's more around 1 a.m. or so, but in those overnight hours, that's when there is a high tide. They're worried that as the storm surge worsens in that period, the high tide will only exacerbate some of the flooding they could see. Obviously, when you're talking about water, it's a very difficult subject to predict. May not flood everywhere, but it's probably a safe bet to say that we will see some flooding in some areas. A lot of businesses that we drove past up and down Gulf Boulevard did what they can. Some of them chose to board up their windows, but more of them opted for sandbags, stacking them intricately in front of their entrances. Obviously, it's not a cure-all for extreme storm surge, but they hope that if they're in a situation where the surge is bad on the Gulf side and it creeps across Gulf Boulevard, that those sandbags will help in that scenario. A lot of people did evacuate, but we've talked to dozens who chose to stay put. A lot of the people you've seen here, not from this general area. We talked to some from Pinellas Park, some from St. Pete. They traveled here to sightsee, which is something that Pinellas County does not want people to do. Yes, we may not be facing the full brunt of Idalia, but emergency responders still stretched pretty thin dealing with the hurricane. Nevertheless, they don't want any other accidents or calls that they have to respond to in the middle of perhaps storm surge combined with that high tide. We'll keep monitoring things here in John Pass as they do intensify a little bit. As we mentioned a few minutes ago, we did see some lightning in these outer bands. It's almost just remarkable to look at. We saw one bolt in kind of slow motion just trace across the sky, something that I haven't seen in a hurricane before. A lot of the people here watching as the hurricane comes in, amazed by it as well. Again, we'll send things back to you in the studio.
All right. Chad, thank you, and stay safe out there between the storm surge and the lightning. That can be very dangerous. And we want you to stay informed regardless of the situation you're in. We've partnered with 6 different local radio stations. You'll be able to hear ABC Action News on their stations using a battery-powered radio if the power goes out where you live. Our radio partners are right there on your screen, and our coverage continues right after a short...
You guys, if these numbers are accurate, there's over 50 people watching right now.
Nice.
Wait, yeah, right? Are you playing a video game, Cyber?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're playing Remnant?
No, I'm playing Quake 2 right now, but I'm about to start. I really don't feel so fucking smart right now.
Oh, okay. God damn, dude. I've just finally been getting over this illness I've been suffering. I was wondering if other people were ill too, or if it was just me. Anybody sick out there?
No, I feel weird in my stomach all day, man.
Stomach, yeah. Anybody have a weird virus or flu that you can just share with in the chat real quick? Because my girlfriend's been sick for a long time.
All right, I'm going to bed. Good night, honey.
Night, Mom. Love you.
I love you too.
I've been sick for a long time, and it took me the longest time to get over this thing, and I'm finally starting to feel better. I'm just wondering if other people are feeling that too. Been lethargic and weird stomach a few days, right, Tula? Weird, right? You know what? I had the weirdest feeling. I was like, the microplastics are finally starting to get to all of us at the same time. All the garbage we've been ingesting, it's finally catching up to all of us. Sarasota's not going to get Reggie either. It was wild. He loved to drive. Crypto is just kind of chilling. Harmony's not looking too bad right now. That's good. 27.5. Keep our eye on that. I got my eye on this, but as of right now, it's getting close to me now, man. It's starting to get close. That band, the outer band, is starting to get close to where we are. The thing is it shows as green on there, but it showed as green, and it should have been raining over my house. And we did get rain earlier. It was that first band, but it wasn't for the duration that the band showed that it was on this map that I'm watching. I'm just wondering. Maybe the green is not rain. Maybe the green is clouds. I don't know. I like the bright green. I don't know. Maybe that's an inaccurate representation. I don't know. It looked like it was right over us. Maybe they're over-exaggerating weather maps now to try to scare us. Rumble? Do your thing. Are they over-exaggerating the weather maps to try to scare us, you guys think? This is what dabs sound like. You guys like that? Sound like the beginning of an album or something. Some kind of an awesome album that everybody wants to hear. Here, we're right here. Look at that. You get the whole picture here. Well, not the whole picture, but this is not bad. We get some crypto coverage here. The bottom of the screen. I'm going to make that big here. Let's go like about that big and go from right about there. I got my eye on Harmony. There we go. We can see Harmony, Ethereum, and Bitcoin across the bottom of the screen. It's freaking perfect. You can see Mission Control. Looking pretty tight. We like that? We like Mission Control. We're doubling up on the... Oh, we got Miss Basketball Boobs up here. Let's see what she's got to say.
In Sarasota, and joins us now live with the latest. Sophia, are conditions out there worsening yet?
Yes, they are. I feel like every time I check in with you guys, I tell you that the conditions are progressing and they're worsening, but that is really the truth of the matter. The last 2 hours, the rain has just been nonstop. We've seen multiple bouts of lightning, heard multiple rounds of thunder, but really what's been relentless has been those...
What's that noise?
Very, very strong winds. I want you to take a look because the best indicators for me to show you these palm trees that they are just blowing in the wind, and you can really see how strong these winds actually are. We've even seen a few puddles or so of rain that has kind of gathered, indicator that maybe some more low-lying areas are seeing that flooding. And right now, currently, we are in an evacuation zone. We are in Zone A in what's considered to be one of those low-lying areas. So, of course, areas that are prone to this rainfall and prone to being more low-lying. I will say that at 7 p.m., Sarasota County transitioned from hurricane watch to a tropical storm warning. You can obviously see that the conditions here, they're just kind of ramping up now as we speak. They're going to continue to worsen going into tomorrow morning. I can tell you that crews here are on standby. FPL is stationed at the Sarasota Fairgrounds to help any and all customers who need assistance. Thankfully, right now, Sarasota County has not seen or reported any outages, but a little to the north of us in Manatee County, they are reporting some pretty massive outages. One area near Anna Maria Island, another barrier island, they are seeing more than 70 customers affected. So a lot of work is going to be going in tonight. And then you can see that wind, it is just picking up.
Trendy Hutch, yo. What's up, buddy? How's it going?
All right, Sophia, thank you. We now want to go to our Julie Salomon. She's live in Dunedin with the very latest out there. Julie, it looks like it's a little bit of wind you're hitting, but not as much rain as we saw in Sarasota.
Yeah, not as much rain. It kind of goes off and on here.
No
a little
longer
bit of rain.
Canada's cheers, everybody.
The flagpole
Cheers, Cyber.
over to my right is
Cheers,
kind of whipping
bro.
around.
Cheers, everybody.
And, we're out here along
Buck
Marina
507,
Plaza.
Miss
This
Ramsey, Toke and
is
Tony.
right by the Dunedin Pier, just a walking distance from downtown Dunedin. A couple people out here tonight just walking around, riding around on the golf cart. We actually had one guy come over to our truck and he was talking to us for a little bit, and he told us that he actually survived Hurricane Katrina back in 2005. He said he practically lost everything, his place, every sentimental item you can imagine, family photos, and then he relocated to Dunedin and has been here pretty much ever since. So he says he feels fortunate, this hurricane is not a direct hit, obviously, in the Tampa Bay area, but again, just lost everything in Katrina. So you definitely felt for him, and he said he's been blessed ever since he moved to Florida. So the conditions out here, a little bit windy, a little bit rainy. Pinellas County officials are urging people just to stay inside if you don't have to be outside. There is a evacuation order if you live in Zone A in Pinellas County. They're also warning people about the storm surge and possible power outages. Pinellas County government officials said if the power goes out, do not call 911. Instead, contact your local power company and let them know.
Don't come
of the outages.
Don't come here.
But that
Go
is the
home.
latest live here in
Go
Dunedin. I'm going to toss it back to you.
All right, thank you, Julie. Let's check back in now with Chief Meteorologist Dennis Phillips. And Dennis, I know we talked about power outages. I'm just seeing Duke Energy has almost 1,500 folks still out of power, but that's really nothing considering, some of the power outages we could see overnight.
Yeah, you're right, Wendy, but I think we need to really look at what's happening with the radar here, and I think this is going to explain, a lot of what I think people at home are wondering about right now, because, we see this big storm, but it is well to the west, and you just can't ignore that. Now, what is happening right now is the reporters that are out along the coast, they are actually in this rain band, all right? They're in a pretty significant rain band. Winds can easily gust 50 to 60 miles an hour, all right? And the entire viewing area is under a tornado watch until 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. But let's talk about the storm itself, all right? So hurricane force winds extend 25 miles out to the center. That's it. All right, sustained 75-mile-an-hour winds extend 25 miles out from the center. Clearly nowhere near us. So we've been saying this for a long time. We are not going to get hurricane winds. We're just not. Would we see gusts that high? We get a gust that high every now and again, even in a strong thunderstorm. So those are the hurricane winds. But what about the tropical storm force winds? So tropical storm force winds extend 160 miles out from the center. Just using the measuring instrument from the eye of the storm, going out 160 miles, that makes it to central Hillsborough County. So the measurements of where winds are 39 miles an hour or higher are right there. So if you live east of pretty much Tampa, you're not expecting really sustained tropical storm force winds. You might get 25, 30, but at the end of the day, there's your storm, and that storm is moving north. At this point, there's no eastward component to it at all. There will be, and eventually when there is, then some of this is going to start to move in.
Change directions.
But for the time being, right now, can you hear Jason typing away?
Sorry.
So when you're looking at a storm that's moving due north, again, that is not going to be traveling into our inland counties. So if you live in Polk County, if you live in Hardee, DeSoto Highlands, this is not your storm. And that's great, at least in terms of the sustained tropical storm force winds. You still could see some bands that are strong enough that could even create a little tornado or some gusty winds. But overall, the closer you are to the coast, that's where most of this rain is going to be. And we have had more than our fair share of hurricanes that move on shore and go right through Polk County. So you guys deserve a break. After 2004, when you had Charlie.
I totally agree. Let's take a break from that. And we'll take this and go like this. Alright, what else, man? What else is going on here? Show. Take me back to here. And, guy gets... Dude, my video suggestions are horrible. Holy shit. Angry ex-employee cremates people after getting fired from a funeral home.
What?
Dude, man, that's crazy. Can you imagine? Wow. That's like really going out of your way.
That is.
What the hell, man? 1 year ago. This guy duct taped up a freaking hornet's nest. Oh, that is psychotic. Joe Rogan exposes CNN anchor Caitlin Collins. Really, I can't stand Caitlin Collins. I call her the Grinch because she's got that Grinch. I call her Grinch mouth because Michael Myers, when he was the Grinch and he was all green, he had the weirdest looking mouth. He had like, it looked like a cat mouth. Like he had this like line right here and these big like things over his lip. Whatever. She looks like that. She's got like a Joker Grinch mouth. I don't know, but let's watch this. This should be interesting.
Of the Soul Not For Sale podcast. Coach Colin here. We're getting right into it. It's Joe Rogan and someone I always love watching, always love listening to.
Maybe the answer is 0. It probably is 0 for all I know, right? I have no reason to think it was anything other than 0, but if we're doing a comprehensive assessment of what happened on 9/11, we have a 9/11 commission. Absolutely, there should be an answer the public knows the answer to. Explain to me what you meant there.
This is really, it's funny. I mean, The Atlantic is playing the same game as CNN. It's funny. What I said is, on January 6th, I do believe that there were many federal agents in the field and we deserve to know who they are. On 9/11, what I've said is that the government lied. And this is incontrovertible evidence, Caitlin. The government lied about Saudi Arabia's involvement. There was a Saudi spy named al-Bayoumi who they lied, and the government lied, and the 9/11 Commission lied. We know that because declassified reports in 2021.
Dude, look at the way when he said that and there was nothing she could say back to him. Did you see her eyes just go like, she just cut at him. It was like It was almost like her tell. And sure enough, the mouth opens. So let's hear that again. That was pretty scorching.
Be an answer the public knows.
She's trying to play gotcha with him.
Tell me what you meant there.
This is really, it's funny. I mean, the Atlantic is playing the same game as CNN. It's funny. What I said is on January 6th, I do believe that there were many federal agents in the field and we deserve to know who they are. On 9/11, what I've said is that the government lied. And this is incontrovertible evidence, Caitlin. The government lied about Saudi Arabia's involvement. There was a Saudi spy named al-Bayoumi who they lied, and the government lied, and the 9/11 Commission lied. We know that because declassified reports in 2021 revealed that al-Bayoumi was indeed. What's that?
Yeah, the report that President Biden declassified.
Yes.
But your quote here, are you telling me that the quote
20
is
years
wrong
later,
here?
yeah.
But are you telling me that
I'm
your
telling
quote
you
is
the quote's
wrong here
wrong,
because it
actually.
says how many
I am
federal
actually.
agents were on the planes
I actually
that hit
asked.
the Twin Towers?
Yeah, when I actually, and this is just lifting the curtain on how media works again, I asked that reporter to send the recording because it was on the record. He refused to do it. But we had a free-flowing conversation. The truth is there are lies the government has told about 9/11, but it's not the ones that somebody put in my mouth. It's the one that I articulated, which is that Saudi Arabia, absolutely, their intelligence was involved in 9/11. And that's a difficult thing you're not supposed to say. The facts back that up. Separately, as it relates to January 6th, same story all over again. There were federal agents in the field. I think they've lied about how many there were, and we, the people, deserve the truth, despite the layers of distortion that exist in the media to prevent us from getting
You're
it.
saying that you were misquoted here. So we will take your word.
Yes.
You're saying that you were misquoted here. But you were asked another time recently about whether or not 9/11 was an inside job. This is what your response was.
9/11 inside job or exactly how the government tells us?
I don't believe the government has told us the truth. Again, I'm driven by evidence and data. What I've seen in the last several years is we have to be skeptical of what the government does tell us. I haven't seen evidence to the contrary, but do I believe everything the government told us about it? Absolutely not. I
Ask
believe
a question.
the 9/11 Commission.
That's
absolutely
fair.
not.
I mean, Vic, I think people look at those comments. They look at what you said in the Atlantic, which you say you were misquoted. They look at comments that you've made about the Federal Reserve adding zeros to media companies' bank accounts. And I mean, it looks like you're floating conspiracy theories with this defense of I'm just asking questions.
Well, when you actually quote me, those are my words, and I stand by them. So somebody else quoting me, putting words in my mouth, I have a problem with. But those words I stand by. You want to know why? Because we literally know the FBI, the 9/11 Commission, the U.S. government on down, told us specifically that Saudi Arabia had no involvement.
He keeps saying
20 plus years later, quietly declassifying documents showing that not only did Saudi Arabia have involvement, it was a Saudi intelligence agent that received two of those terrorists that crashed planes on 9/11, killing
But the
Americans
question was, is
on
9/11
American
an
soil.
inside
And our
job? And you
government
didn't
lied
say
about it.
no.
Caitlin,
That's what
you
I
just
think people are
Caitlin, you
looking at.
Caitlin, you know what's really funny? You literally just played that. You could play it for your audience again. He said, or do you believe everything the government has told us? And my answer was, I do not believe everything the government has told us.
But you see
because
the
they
point.
lied.
The point is
and
that
I know
it leaves
this game
the door
comes
open.
up, Caitlin,
It's
every
not
time
a
there's
game.
an outsider
it
who
leaves
comes
the door
in.
open, Vivek. It leaves the door open, and someone who's a
Caitlin,
9/11 truther
we
looks
have a
at that and
government that
says, that's
systematically
exactly what I
lies.
believe.
Well, that's on them, Caitlin. Get over it.
You think the government's lying about 9/11?
I think the government has systematically and for a very long time lied about 9/11. And I think I'm the
What
only
parts
presidential
exactly
candidate
are
that has
they
told us
lying
the
about?
truth. Saudi Arabia's involvement. It is absolutely true.
But you
that
don't
Saudi
think that
Arabia
9/11 was an
was
inside job,
involved in 9/11.
correct?
Of course not. And I've never said it. But the
But
media
that's a pretty
filters do
simple
create
answer.
a lot
Yeah,
of...
and he didn't say that, and he was literally asked that, and his response was, I don't think the government has been completely honest with us about it. That's fucking fair. That's very accurate. The government wasn't completely honest about what fucking happened. You know, that's a fucking fact, and he knows he can prove it more than just Saudi Arabia's fucking involvement. There's, you know, how about the fact that you fucking, Osama bin Laden's family was escorted out of the fucking country? What the fuck was that?
It's not a media filter. You have to stop blaming the media. I'm asking you about comments that you have made.
And I'm telling you that the comments I made, the ones you just played, are indeed what I believe, which was not that 9/11 was an inside job, but that Saudi Arabia absolutely was involved, and our government for 20 years lied to the American people about it.
There was an entire
That is
9/11
hard
Commission
fact,
report
actually.
on this.
Yes, and it lied, and it was false. And in fact, you know where that's coming out, Caitlin? There's now a case, a federal case in the Southern
Dude.
District of New York.
Her response to him saying, and it lied, and she's just like, but she's got no response to that. It's like he's got her on this one thing. He does.
Where the government of Saudi Arabia is being sued by victims of families.
know, the
That's why
families,
this is
yes.
resurfacing itself. It is relevant, and it turns
But there's
out
a difference
in
in
those
asking
declassified
questions
documents
about Saudi
that the government
Arabia's
lied.
involvement and the government's involvement, and then pushing this idea that whenever what your comment about who was on the plane and then was 9/11 an inside job where you did not say no earlier. That's why it's important to clarify those comments.
Important,
Because otherwise
you know,
it feels like
I don't
you're
think
towing
anybody
it
has to be asked to put any importance behind anything until you can pronounce the word important, fucking Grinch mouth.
line when it comes to conspiracy theories.
Caitlin, I am guilty as charged that I do not follow the establishment super PAC donor approved script on these questions, but I'm speaking truth, grounded in fact, at every step of the way, and that's what's really elicited something of an anaphylactic reaction of the kind we saw in 2016 against a different candidate. But this time I'm going to be grounded in principles and conviction, not just vengeance and grievance,
Well,
which is
you say
exactly
you're grounded
how we
in
will
evidence.
reunite
That's
this
just
country.
simply what we were asking for. But Vivek Ramaswamy, we'll have to leave it there. Thanks so much for your time tonight.
He's like,
that was amazing. That was amazing. Do you see? You see the issue there, that he wouldn't just. He's leaving the door open. It's almost like the whole narrative of it's not enough to just not be racist nowadays.
No, I don't
you
see
have
the
to
issue
be
there.
Anti-racist.
He can leave any door open he wants to, dude. It's his fucking opinion. I didn't have a single problem with his opinion. And if you can't see a fucking problem with his opinion right there, if you have an issue with his opinion right there, is what I should say, then you might have a fucking narrative, dumbass. Who is this guy? Let's go to Rogan. I don't care what this guy has to say.
You guys that clip just so you have context about what Dave and Joe are about to be talking about, and also so you'll raise those questions yourself and look deeper into that. But let's get into some more stuff here. Let's go.
We were talking about that Vivek interview, which is very interesting, where this woman on CNN, that same woman that did the town hall thing with Trump, what's her name, Caitlin?
Yeah, I don't know. I know who you're talking about.
She was trying to get him to discuss certain things in a way that would look preposterous. And she was talking about 9/11. And like you said, that the government lied to us about 9/11. Like, would you think the government was involved in 9/11? He's like, no. What I said was that the government lied to us about 9/11 because the Saudis were involved and they knew they were involved. And she kind of glossed over that and was saying something in the lines of, don't you think that you saying that the government lied to us about 9/11 supports baseless conspiracy theories?
This is really good
supports the
interpretation
idea
of
that
what
the
we just
government
watched.
orchestrated. Like, that's when you want to put on the full tinfoil hat with the fucking chin strap, you say the government organized and designed 9/11. There was bombs in the building. They knew it was all happening. They detonated Tower 7. Like, you got to go full hat.
Right.
And so she's trying to bring him into full conspiracy tinfoil hat.
right.
And he's
Right.
going, no, that's not what I said. And he said something that's factual.
Exactly.
And she just sort of like pretended it didn't get said.
Exactly.
And that's a real fucking issue.
It is.
They lied about whether or not Saudi Arabia was involved.
It's one of the biggest scandals in the history of the United States of America. It's like the biggest terrorist attack on our soil, and the government lied about
why
what
this guy
had
with the
happened,
yellow hat
who was involved
is
with it,
supporting
and
her.
by the way, continued propping up that regime to this day. Continued funding
that
and
he
doing
can't
business with
come
the same
around
government
and-
that had high-level people involved in the attack,
but what?
and they knew it and suppressed that from the American people because it would have been, if you put yourself back in that time, it would have been such an outrage if Americans had known. And in fact, one of the first things George W. Bush did immediately after 9/11, even when all the flights were grounded, was get high-level Saudis out of the country. Was fly them out of the country. And this is all factual. Like this happened. It's not disputed.
Including members of bin Laden's family.
Yeah.
The whole thing is so wild. And it doesn't get discussed. They keep going back to the company narrative. What's the ideological left narrative? The left narrative is anybody who questions 9/11 is a nutter. And you're a nutter, and you're trying to run for president. And he does a very good job of, she repeats the question, he repeats the answer. She repeats the question, he repeats the answer. And she's trying to catch him in this. And it's like, see if you can find that.
So I'm looking it up, and what I'm seeing online is that the story has turned a little bit, that The Atlantic has posted audio from the interview.
He was asking for that audio.
Yeah, it says they released it, and it says The Atlantic did not put any words in his mouth. I'm trying to find the audio so we could play it, but it's behind a page.
So he was saying that they put words in his mouth?
Yeah. So, but then what I'm also seeing then in the Daily Beast article is that, despite them releasing the audio, it says Ramaswamy's campaign somehow declared victory. So they're saying I guess they're saying he said it, but his team is also saying it's still been taken out of context.
But what are they claiming that he said?
I'm trying to find the transcript, and I haven't gotten that far.
I would declare victory.
But let's listen to his interview on CNN. Because the things that it's interesting, like we'll figure this out. Why is it not giving any volume?
Well, it's not the interview yet.
It's not? What's that?
Just her talking.
Oh, I see.
And I actually, and this is just lifting the curtain on how media works again. I asked that reporter to send the recording because it was on the record. He refused to do it. But we had a free-flowing conversation.
After our interview, The Atlantic released the audio, more than 4 minutes of it actually, and here is the part with that quote that was in question.
What is the truth about January 6th?
I don't know. We can handle it. Whatever it is, we can handle it. Government agents, how many government agents were in the field? Right?
You mean like entrapment?
Yeah. Absolutely. Why can the government not be transparent about something that we're using? Terrorists, or the kind of tactics used by terrorists. If we find that there were hundreds of our own in the ranks of the day that they were...
Hundreds.
That they were, I mean...
Well, there's a difference between entrapment and a difference between a law enforcement agent identifying...
I think it's legitimate to say how many federal agents were on the planes that hit the Twin Towers. Like, I think we want... Maybe the answer's zero. Probably a zero, for all I know, right? I have no reason to think it was anything other than zero. But if we're doing a comprehensive assessment of what happened on 9/11, we have a 9/11 commission. Absolutely, that should be an answer the public knows the answer to.
That's fair.
Vivek did nothing wrong. There's nothing. There's
fair.
literally nothing wrong with what he said there. But
That
that's
was fair.
we're doing this in comparison
One
to January
hyperbolic
6th.
statement,
So we
but
do want to know how many
that
federal
he's
agents were involved in January
hyperbolic.
6th. And imagine if
And-
there was actually federal agents that were involved on the planes in 9/11.
God damn,
He didn't
man.
say
He
there
needs to
were.
hang
No,
out
he
with some
specifically
of my
said zero.
friends
I'm
from
sure it
Campbell.
was zero. I'm sure
But
it was
we'd
zero.
want to know.
But we'd want to know.
Bullshit.
And he's saying if you're claiming this was an act of terrorism, just like that was an act of terrorism, then okay, let's have a commission. Let's have a report. Let's know how many federal agents there were. And so far, I mean, by the way, it's crazy they try to spin this. Does she keep going? Can I hear what her take on that is?
Yeah, there's still another minute on this video.
Please play the rest of it.
Okay.
I want to hear what she has to say about this.
Interesting.
Herself. He was, in fact, quoted accurately. In an email to CNN after that audio was published, his spokesperson said, "The audio clearly demonstrates that Vivek was taken badly out of context, and even this small snippet proves that. We continue to encourage The Atlantic to release more of the recording rather than their carefully selected snippet so that the full context and reality is exposed." I should note that spokesperson did not explain how he was supposedly taken out of context. The reality is that Vivek Ramaswamy is running to be president of the United States. He will be on that debate stage tomorrow night, and he says this is a central message to his campaign.
This campaign is founded on the truth. The truth. We down from the truth.
So what?
We stand for the truth.
God, she's an idiot.
I'm a patriot who speaks
How many
the
times
truth.
can he say he's talking about the truth?
Well, the truth is, he did say it. The quote was accurate, and it is on tape. And yes, this is how the media works. You get quoted for things you say accurately.
Said what?
Yeah, but that is still out of context.
He said
It's
what?
clearly out of context.
What did he
Otherwise, they would have
say?
released the entire recording.
I know, and
She's
it's this
trying
weird
to
thing where they
hold him
brag about how, like, but you know what? The Atlantic did release 4 minutes of audio. Like, well, why not just release the whole thing?
Right, but this
Like,
was after he had said they didn't release it because they hadn't.
Right,
So
right.
he's asking for the copy of it. They would not give it to him,
God,
and
it's
then they
so
released
weird.
this small snippet that is again taken out of context.
And it's not as if anywhere in there he says, I believe there were federal agents in
No,
on
he said
January
it's
6th. He's saying
probably zero.
Well, on 9/11 he said it's probably
Yeah,
zero, but he
oh,
said he's
right.
asking the question
Right,
about
right,
January 6th. But he never even said, I believe January 6th was an inside job. He said, like, it seems like entrapment. Like that's
Yeah.
kind of what it seems like, and we have a right to ask these questions. Yeah, Vivek's a very sharp
That's
guy.
fair.
I had him on
And
my
I
podcast.
said that's fair.
He's a very impressive
fair.
guy. He's very smart. And he's just 100% right here. That look, who's Ray, the FBI director, was
Edward
asked.
Sparks 420 right on.
So that's basically it with that.
Thank you for that.
CNN getting caught doing nonsense once again, as always, especially with that Collins lady. She's very much a nasty lady, as Trump once put it in the town hall meeting. A nasty lady. Honestly, again, I'll say it again. She didn't want to talk about the Jan 6th.
Honestly, you're a narrative pusher, and nobody wants to fucking hear what you have to say. You're an idiot. Fuck you. I hate fucking liars. He'll sit there and lie to his audience. He will, for some reason, he watched that and didn't see what we saw. You know, it's fucking crazy. And I don't like Ramaswamy. I don't like him. I don't like the guy. Fucking hate him. But I'll sit here and defend his truth as long as it's what I can see and hear. And everything he said about pertaining to both 9/11 and January 6th was totally on the table, legit. And for her to be trying to attack him, it kind of makes you wonder, what is it that what's her angle? What does she get out of making Ramaswamy look bad? They're scared of Ramaswamy. That's CNN is petrified of Ramaswamy. So they've painted a target on his back. That's what that is. You heard it here first. You heard it here first. I figured it out. That they're petrified. They think he's going to be they think he's going to beat up DeSantis, which he is passing up DeSantis, and eventually take over Trump's position too. You guys in Rumble, what do you think are the chances of Ramaswamy taking over Trump as the candidate for the Republican Party? And you want my opinion on whether or not I think Ramaswamy would beat Biden in an election? After what I just heard, I think Ramaswamy would fucking kill Biden in an election. You know, and if Republicans start thinking that Trump is not for some reason going to be able to do it, and they end up with that guy, I think that guy would be the next president of the United States. What do you guys think? In my Rumble chat. Tula and Ben. Hey, Tula. Talks way too fast for me, Dave. Tula, see, I hate liars too. He's a predator. Tula says. Ben says he looks good. Yeah, I don't think he looks good. I think he looks like a fucking clown bitch with that fucking smile. He just, you know, just, oh God, he's just a fucking phony businessman. I just see right through him, bro. I don't like him at all. If you guys don't answer me in Rumble, you're going to hurt my feelings. How many thumbs ups did I get in Rumble? 8. Thank you. Thank you for that, guys. I'll give it a 9. Thank you for the thumbs ups. I do appreciate that. So I know there were at least 9 of you here. It says there's 34. How many thumbs ups can I get on my channel right now, guys? On Rumble. Everybody click that thumbs up for me. Come on over to the Rumble. You know, I'm at Nay's Garden on Rumble. Just come to Rumble right now and give me a thumbs up. Say something in my chat. If there's really 34 people in my Rumble chat and you guys want the video to keep going, I'm serious. Somebody say something in my Rumble chat. It says 34 viewers, guys. 34 plus 13 plus 6. So that's 40, 50, 53 viewers right now, supposedly. Okay, 53 viewers. Who am I going to hear from? I want audience participation. Ooh, I can hear myself really good when I do that. This is a really good sound studio. Very little echo. Not telling. Thank you, not telling. Wow, 34. It says 34 viewers, guys. I'm not joking. It says 34 viewers and only one person is going to say something. Buck Fiden gave me the dancing banana. OW7 Vage says, I love you. I love you too, OW7. Thank you. Dave Fishing says, I don't see him ever winning like Christie. Steve Running 777 says hello. Hello, Steve.
Well, bro, I gotta go lay down.
All right. I hope you feel better, brother. Take care.
Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Take care, everybody. Take care, bro.
Tula, she's in the Rumble. Everybody give me a thumbs up, please. While you're on Rumble, don't forget, hit that thumbs up. There's nothing here. There's no wind. There's no rain. No wind, no rain. It is completely still outside. I've got this really tall plant right outside my window with these really tall leaves that's dead still. Got a ligustrum branch. It's just barely going like that. So I got a bunch of you to say hello. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of you out of 34, huh? On Rumble? 5. Are you guys watching on? Are the other 30 people watching on Rumble watching from somewhere else? Can you tell me? Do you have to be following the channel or something to type in the chat? Is that the problem? You guys are here, but you're not following. It says I got 915 followers and only 9 thumbs ups. Can you guys give me some more thumbs ups, please? Give me more than 9 thumbs ups and please follow the channel. 5 more of you follow and get me to 920. That'd be great. Who are you voting for? I don't vote for president. Okay. It makes me sad. I just can't figure out this fucking 30. Now it says 30 people watching over there. Air is still in the eye of the storm. What is this channel about? You've been watching me for, what do you mean? It's a cannabis channel. Year Trump 2024. It's a cannabis channel. We smoke cannabis here and talk about stuff. I'm the 9. You're the number 9. You're the 9th thumbs up. Thank you, Tula. It says I've got 915 followers. I can't seem to get any more. I just keep losing them. Harmony 1 is starting to climb upwards, 1047. Ethereum is just kind of stagnated, so Bitcoin's slowly climbing. It's dropping. It looked like it was going to go up. What part of Florida? I'm moving to Sarasota in 30-ish days. I'm in Orlando. I'm north of Orlando. Ben Roach gave me a thumbs up. 29 watching now on Rumble, which means there's probably only 6 of you left. Because that's bullshit. It's not 29. I can't get anybody, like, all these numbers to come in here and, like, say where they're watching from, why they're not talking in my chat. So weird. It's driving me fucking crazy. How do you check the accuracy? I asked people to give me a 1 in the chat, and I see how many 1s I can get. Never been able to get more than a 5th or a quarter of the number that it reports. I mean, I could put the number up on screen. It says 32 right now. I mean, you guys will see there's not 32. We're not going to get 32 1s. We'll be lucky if we get 6 1s. So we got OW7 Vage is here. Buck Fiden 1234 is here. Not Telling is here. I mean, there's maybe 6 or 7 people. And a lot of people start lagging behind. Ben Roach hit 1 from Facebook. But yeah, it makes me not want to do this, man, because I can't even get these people to, like, come over here and, like, tell me where they're watching from, or if there are people watching. I really feel like it's not real. I mean, they claim there's a whole bunch of other sites where the players are, the Rumble player is playing, and they claim that they count all of those people everywhere a Rumble player is playing. Like if you're watching from my website or something, but my website doesn't have a Rumble player. I'm pretty sure. Right on OW7 page. If you're tired, just call it. I'm not tired. I could stay up all night. I'm just aggravated that I can't get more than, a handful of people ever to respond in the chat when it says that there's 30 people watching. It makes me believe that Rumble's a fucking liar about how many people are watching my show. I've never been able to get anywhere near the number of people to respond to what that number says is supposedly watching. What benefit to Rumble to tweak the numbers? To make people think that there's more people watching. Like for me, I keep broadcasting when I think there's all these people watching. I think there's fucking 30, 41, 46 people watching right now across all the channels. It makes me want to stay and keep broadcasting. I don't want to let 46 people go, but if it's really only 20 people, which is what it would be, I'm assuming it is, 11 on YouTube, 5 on Kick, and like 6 people on Rumble. I'm assuming it's only 6 people watching on Rumble. It's accurate though that many have your channel open. Prairie Kid evening. Dolphins 88. Most people don't, unfortunately. Prairie Kid, Dolphins 88. Hello. When did you guys get here? Prairie Kid, did you just walk in? Dolphins 88, did you just walk in? Oh my god. There's 2 more people. Watch, my numbers are going to go up to 40 now. Watch, it says 30 watching right now. Here, I'll bring it up. Watch, it's going to go up to 40. It always does this shit. This is how I know. Look, was I right? Look, was I right? Look, did I tell you it's going to go up to 40? Did I tell you? Am I good or am I good? You guys, did I just freak you out? You literally saw it happen. Dolphins and Prairie came in and bumped my number up to 40. Do you guys need any more evidence than that? Dolphins came in a minute ago. Prairie Kid just got in. It bumped my number up to 40 from 30. It was only 2 people that came in, guys. It's not, 8 people did not just start watching magically somewhere. And you can literally see this happen. Not telling says 40. Exactly as I predicted. You guys want to see somebody who gets numbers right? Watch me. Watch this show. I'll amaze you. I mean, literally, I called it, dude. I called that 40. Right? Right, Tula? You scared? Does it frighten you? Because I have powers of numbers. The numbers I understand. I have an understanding of them. I have become one with the numbers. Okay, so I think we figured this out, man. So if it was 30 and two people came in and now it says 40, it's, am I near the hurricane? No, I'm pretty far away from it now. It seems to be pretty far away. Now there's another band. When this thing hits the coast, we'll just have to see. Things can change. But as of right now, we just dodged the first band really good. No rain really at all, just drizzling and shit, but nothing we're not used to over here. We just gotta wait and see what happens, man, because when this thing sits on the coastline, anything can happen. It can change directions, it can come down here. It can bring up a whole bunch of moisture, dump it all. So 2 people divided by 10, that's 5 each. So each person is worth, at 30, each person is worth 5 views. So if one more person were to come in, it would probably go up like 3. I have a feeling it ranks it differently compared to how many people come in. Can you guys that are on Rumble, can you guys like share this on Truth Social and try to get some more people? Because I already shared it on Truth Social. Hey, Hopester, watch. It's going to go up again. Watch. Hopester is going to go up to 43 now. Hopester, stay here. Stay here. Watch. You're going to jump my number from 40 to 43 on Rumble. Just one person. I have a feeling. It's like every 60 seconds or so. You just got to wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Here it goes. It's like I just know it's going to go. Come on, Hopester. Let's see what you did to the old numbers game. Ooh, it went down. 3. Did the opposite of what I was. 4. Very interesting. So, maybe somebody left Hopester. I don't know. Maybe I freaked Hopester out. Yeah, I hope it stays away too. You didn't do that? Oh, you're still here? Somebody left. Maybe 2 people. Maybe 1 person. Absolutely no wind outside at all. 50 people watching, guys. It's insanity. Man, I don't know what I'm hearing out. Oh, it's my cat. I didn't think we'd ever be up to these numbers ever again on the show. Tropical, what's up? For a few days you were out fishing. Where were you fishing, Prairie Kid? Wonder if it's an algorithm. Yeah, it's an algorithm. We don't have 36 people watching. I don't buy it. But I think we've got close to 8 people watching. Something like that. 7. 6. 6 people watching now. On Rumble. And then there's 10 across all the other channels, and then 5 on Kick. Tropical Things over there on Kick. Dave Fishing's on Kick. Hopester, what part of Florida? I'm just north of Orlando. West coast of Vancouver Island, salmon and ling cod. Right on, Prairie Kid. How'd your fishing go? Did you get what you were going for? What do you use for bait when you're trying to get salmon? I've never gone salmon fishing before. Wow, that's awesome. You're in a big river doing... Are you fly fishing for salmon? I gotta wait for the responses. See if we can get the chat shadow. I haven't been around for a few years. Rumble numbers are strange. Yeah, tell me about it. They're downright wacky. They're downright wacky, I say. Trolling for salmon, jig for the cod, 30 pounds good ling cod. Oh my god. That's crazy. 25-pound salmon, bro. You'd be eating that for a while, huh? Making some nice salmon dinner. I bet that's delicious. I bet you know exactly how to cook that up too, don't you? What? Tell us how you cook it up. They taste really good. Dude, I can just imagine the river he gets that out of. Oh my god, it's probably so beautiful. You're like a bear. Anyone near the hurricane? We've got Buck Fiden, 1, 2, 3, 4. He's kind of close. Or 4, 3, 2, 1. Buck Fiden, 4, 3, 2, 1. He's in Tampa, but right now we're doing all right, man. We've got to wait till tomorrow and see where we're at tomorrow.
It's only within the past hour or so that we've actually seen a definitive eye. And if you go to the reflectivity, again, you can see the eye wall forming here. It's becoming pretty, it's forming pretty well right now. It's becoming very healthy. And when that happens, again, this means that we're going to be talking about the potential for some, very strong winds on the coastline. In addition to that, we're also going to be looking at some substantial storm surge. And this also, again, indicates rapid intensification. And we've seen that, again, over the past 12 to 24 hours. This thing has dropped so fast. It's down to 960 millibars, so it's crazy. There's a new special marine warning, by the way. That's south of Cape Coral. We're, again, probably going to start to see a tornado risk here pretty soon near Cape Coral on these storms that are going to be coming inland here pretty soon. So stay tuned. In Cape Coral, we'll start to see that tornado risk increase a little bit. Near Tampa Bay as well, we'll probably start to see some of these outer bands flirt with the shear and the tornado risk.
I know, it just kind of seems like they're all breaking apart. He sounds like he's trying to, like, really pump it up.
Episode 552.
Right. When does this season end? I don't know, man. December? It's probably... Hey, Jake. It's probably going to be more... The hurricane seasons are going to get longer and longer, you know? Because it's getting hotter. It's getting hotter for longer. Let's see this.
You met Jeffrey Epstein once.
Yep.
Talk to me about what that's like, coming face to face with somebody of that caliber.
Or lack
Whatever
of.
that means. Well, one thing is that there is a physiological reaction that corresponds to this phrase that, you know, the hair on the back of my neck stood on end. Like, that's a real physiological feeling. I don't know whether the hair actually does that, but it's exactly what it feels like. You're meeting somebody who is unholy. And, you know, one of the most interesting things is that he was beckoning into a world that didn't seem to exist but for him as the doormat.
I think that's one of the things that freaked out a lot of these rich people is that he felt rich in a movie sense, which is not something that you find among actually rich people.
What do you mean?
Well, a lot of very wealthy people don't own an island. Islands are really tough to maintain. I'm obsessed with islands.
That's
and,
not true.
You know, in general, I have to be obsessed with islands that have airports run by other people because, you know, they have populations on them. But every rich person starts to wonder, can I afford an island? Or how many jets? And if you look at Jeffrey Epstein's wealth, it was like gold beaten into gold foil so that it could cover a vast area and leave the impression of a solid gold life. But it was really probably on a mid 9-figure fortune that had been used to buy islands and planes, which is not what any 9-figure person is going to do.
So you had a felt sense, an embodied sense of discomfort?
Oh, hell yeah.
And where did that come from?
The fact that he had a lipstick camera pointed at me from an art object, that he laid a table that was preposterously long and thin with a tablecloth made of an American flag to make it look like a coffin so that I would spill my coffee on the flag of my own country. I mean, the fact that he looked like a mutant Ralph Lauren with this kind of lubricious quality, and he's talking all of this science and market stuff and nothing adds up, and there's an heiress bouncing on his knee to get her boobs to jiggle to see whether it can distract. I mean, it's like one of these crazy scenes where nothing about it was normal. There was no trace of a normal world.
That sounds like a script from a movie.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it, John Travolta is like putting a gun to your head and forcing you to drink and break a code in a minute. Yeah, like that part of it. And then there was some sort of, like, you know, remember that story, The Most Dangerous Game, where a man invites you to his island so he can hunt you? You know, this was scary, and it was meant to be scary.
Sounds menacing.
Well, I think his product was silence. People think that his product was sex or finance, but it was silence, I'm pretty sure.
What's that mean?
If you're scary enough, look, rich people can get sex, but they can't necessarily get people to shut up afterwards. So my take on it instantly was, this is not an actual human. This is a construct of someone's. Someone has created a fake human being called Jeffrey Epstein, who's a mysterious currency trading financier with crazy rules so that no one would ever invest with him. And I think that was to keep people from seeking his investment services. I mean, he's labeled disgraced financier, but nobody has a record of trading with him. He was sitting there, he comes into the meeting and he says, you know, well, Eric, I was just doing some currency trading. And I thought about that scene that you sometimes see and as a meme with Steve Buscemi with a skateboard over his shoulder.
Hello, fellow teenagers. Hello, fellow financial traders.
Exactly. So I'm thinking, you don't really look like a rich guy who trades in markets.
The thing that I'm finding myself intrigued by here is it takes a moderate amount of cognitive horsepower to be able to piece together this theater that you sat down at.
Yeah.
Deployed in a nefarious, malicious, manipulative way.
Mm-hmm.
But it's smart.
What do you mean it's smart? Say more.
It's not something that could be done by a simple mind.
You think he did it?
Oh, he has a team of manipulators?
No, when I say I think he was a construct, I literally mean that. I think he was constructed, like fitted with a story.
Oh, so you think he was a plant?
No, I think he was a construct.
What's that? Okay, you're going to have to dig into it.
I think Jeffrey Epstein, super genius financier, was not a thing that existed. Where did the money come from? You're going to mumble Lex Wexner? Okay, so that's what you mumble. But then, there's this missing fortune of Robert Maxwell and this fortune of Jeffrey Epstein that we can't explain. Are those the same fortune? It's like a conservation of money principle, that if you have a fortune that's missing and you have a fortune that can't be explained and they're connected by Ghislaine Maxwell, I don't know. Why is it that no hedge funds, what is it? They file form, I forget if it's 13F. There's certain forms that you have to file. Nobody's ever asked for these things. Who's his prime broker? Where has somebody gone over the prime brokerage? What are his trades? He would have to move the market if he was, doing a yard of euros or Swiss francs or who knows what, like $1 billion. That would move the market. So there's no way you can fake retroactively a hedge fund of immeasurable size that trades currencies. I don't think he was a currency trader. He told me he was a currency trader.
So when you say a construct, who constructs? Who's the builder?
I don't know. I would imagine some version of the intelligence community. Sometimes somebody's cover gets blown. We have a very famous, unfortunate story of Eli Cohn with the Mossad, where Eli Cohn was an Egyptian Jew who was fitted with a backstory that he was an Argentinian playboy who'd made a fortune in Argentina, but was Arabic in origin. And then he moves to Damascus and he takes out an apartment where he holds orgies and becomes the best friend of Hafez al-Assad, right? And so that's an example of a story we know. We know how the intelligence communities of the world create people who don't really exist.
Construction of, I know that this is just a one-time thing here that you got to see, but the construction of the coffin-looking American flag, the spilling of the coffee, this weird power play thing that's going on, that seems, now that you say that, it wasn't him even pulling his own strings, perhaps. It makes a lot more sense, but even that degree of sophistication, I learned this from Daniel Schmachtenberger. We sat down and he's spent some time with particularly powerful people.
Yeah.
And he told me this really harrowing story of somebody who has both the desire and the means to treat themselves like an apex predator against their own kind. And they said so. They broke the fourth wall about this and said apex predators don't care about the prey, but they saw their own kind as prey. And I asked Daniel, how does it feel to sit opposite somebody who isn't rate limited by the resources, who can not only dream to have this, plus have the motivation or lack of virtue or integrity to go ahead and consider doing it, and then has the capacity, the assets to be able to enact it.
Sure. How's there no
and it's
echo
reminding
over
me, it's giving me this same something. It feels like it's up on the top of my head. It's giving me some sort of a sense like that.
This was intended to be terrifying. It wasn't an accident. It was intended to be as fascinating as it could possibly be, which it was, and terrifying at the same time. And it achieved both. It achieved both objectives. I mean, I was given an opportunity to meet him again. I didn't know what to do. I mean, the other thing that I just found really weird is that he knew about my research, and it turned out that he was connected to my graduate department at Harvard. So he had a connection to the Harvard math department, unbeknownst to me. I don't know when that began. I know two of the professors he was connected through. But this is some unholy story. It has nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. It has to do with whatever this thing was. We tripped over a thing. We tripped over a structure. We named the structure Jeffrey Epstein.
It must be very unfortunate in some regards, for whoever it was, if that's true, that was in charge of this construction. That it became that people got T-shirts with his name printed on them.
But this was already going wrong in the early 2000s. You see, my sense of this is that this was a pre-internet plan that lived into the internet age and couldn't survive contact with the internet age.
What did the internet bring in that didn't allow it to survive?
Eyeballs, discussion,
level of surveillance.
Like, there's a claim that nobody cares about Jeffrey Epstein because it's this many years later and we've all moved on. Yeah, that's completely untrue. And we know that it's true because if you start talking about Jeffrey Epstein, the engagement goes up. So you have these fictions, like, that are put out by mainstream media or traditional news desks, which is, nobody cares about that story. Well, that you can see from social media that that's not true, from the internet. So the internet is constantly providing an ability to check whether or not these claims from inside the structure are true. And Jeffrey Epstein is an example of what I called an anti-interesting phenomenon.
What's that?
Well, an anti-interesting thing is something that would normally be fascinating. Imagine, for example, you had a story where you could get a Pulitzer Prize for breaking it. Everybody cares. You'd sell papers like hotcakes, blah, 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 and nobody wants to report on it. And it's like right there. You could just ask the dumbest questions, and it would, like, New York Times says, disgraced financier. Well, tell me. Did you find his prime broker? Did you find the forms? Did you go to his offices in Villard House? No, nobody does, ever. The story is anti-interesting, and it's very different than being uninteresting.
Which would suggest more collusion, more coordination.
Hello? I mean, see, this is one of the most uncomfortable things. I think there was a time when people said collusion or coordination, the presumption was, well, that's pretty far out there. We now know, like post Elon Musk's $44 billion adventure at Twitter, that there are these coordinating groups, coordinating social media with the intelligence community or with the Department of Homeland Security or with the State Department. We now know that we're living in an orchestrated, curated, choreographed world. And we can't know it officially, but we all know it if we want to know it. Which is hysterical. Now we have to talk about, well, are you a conspiracy theorist? Like, I read the Slack messages. I read the emails. What are you even talking about now?
This episode is brought to you by a product I've used every single day for over 3 years now, and that
was really good, man. I like that. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. I can't believe how many people are watching this show right now, man. 60 viewers, guys. 59. So, I usually base the longevity of a live stream on the audience participation. And there's just none, you guys. You guys just aren't chatting at all. You're not getting anything. And I'm sorry, man. I wish you guys would talk more and get into it, like when we're watching stuff like this. I found that quite interesting. And I hope you guys did too, but I'm not hearing from any of you. So I'm just going to go ahead and call it, and hopefully we'll all be a little bit more awake tomorrow and you guys will be able to interact with me a little bit more. Okay? Feel free to leave me thumbs ups and follow this channel. I would greatly appreciate that. I appreciate the extra 4 thumbs ups, guys. That's great. And no more followers, but, feel free to follow the YouTube channel. Can we watch Richmond, north of Richmond, before you leave? No. Too many top politicians involved with it. You can go watch it, though, OW7. You guys have a great night, and I just, I need to know you guys are here. I don't think anybody's actually here watching when you guys aren't talking in the chat. when the video is going. Sorry to interrupt. Right on, Tropical Thing. Mad love and respect. Right on, and have a good night, Prairie Kid. Hell yeah. There's just so many of you, man. And it's not even a weeknight, man. I can't believe how many people are here, supposedly, on a Tuesday night. Come on, man. I hate to drop 60 people. If it was legit 60, man, if you guys could prove that shit. Dude, if I thought there was 40 people here right now, I wouldn't go. Just so you guys know, Dolphins88, thank you. Just so you guys know, I've been live for almost 4 hours, and if I thought there was 40 people here, I'd totally stay. Okay. Alright, you guys take care. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night. Bye, everybody.